Interviews with top players, coaches, and team executives on Sirius XM 87.
I'm Frank Track.
Islanders and Winnipeg Jets headed your way in a matter of minutes. It's the third game of the season for the New York Islanders. 0-2 so far, coming off a 4-2 loss against the Washington Capitals on Saturday night. Winnipeg is 1-1. The Jets at home beat LA on Saturday 3-2. Mark Scheifele had 2 goals in a come-from-behind effort. The first game was a 5-4 loss at home to the Dallas Stars on Thursday. Kyle Connor scored his 7th career hat trick. That's unbelievable. 7 hat tricks already for Kyle Connor, who just signed an 8-year, $96 million contract the day prior, dating back to last Wednesday. It'll be a tough test today for the Islanders, who, again, are looking for that first win, and it's a tough opponent in the Jets, a team that won the President's Trophy a year ago. But the Islanders will see their backup goaltender today as we take a look at today's starters. And it's Eric Comrie in net for the Jets. The 30-year-old native of Edmonton will make his season debut. He's in his 10th NHL season, 3rd stint with the Winnipeg Jets. He'll take on Ilya Sorokin, coming off of a 25-save effort on Saturday night against the Caps. Sorokin 0-2 to start the year with a .421 goals against average. For the Islanders ahead of Ilya Sorokin, it is Matthew Schaefer and Scott Mayfield on defense to start this one. And the second line for head coach Patrick Waugh has Anthony Duclair now on the left wing, skating with Matt Barzal and Kyle Palmieri. They'll be first at the red line. Not playing today, Mark Gatcomb comes out of the lineup as Jonathan Drouin is back from his 1-game suspension. So Gatcomb out. Also, Kyle McLean and Adam Boquist have yet to make their season debuts. Talked a little bit already about Matthew Schaefer, and Ryan Pollock had some very encouraging and high praise for the 18-year-old yesterday at practice, and also after the game Saturday night, in which Matthew Schaefer played more than 26 minutes. Patrick Waugh said he was the best player on the ice for either team. We asked Ryan Pollock about the tools that Schaefer has and how rare it is to have his skill set at such a young age.
Yeah, he's young. He's got those young legs, but no, he, I think just the way he was moving, he was dangerous all over the ice. And when that's the case, obviously you're going to keep him out there. And, in the power play, I thought he did a great job. Late in the game, he did a great job. I just think nothing really phases him. He steps up in every moment. He's just, kid hasn't played much hockey in the last year and whatever it's been, and he steps in here and he looks really good.
He's now averaged 21 minutes and 40 seconds through his first 2 NHL games. And you heard Ryan Pollock mention that he hasn't played a whole lot of hockey lately. He only played 17 games all of last season. Started the year with mono, ended it with a broken collarbone while he was playing in juniors, but he showed enough in between there to be the consensus #1 overall pick. And the #1 pick got his #1 goal in his NHL career. And it was a play in which, if you didn't see the highlight already, it was a mad scramble in front of the Washington crease. Kyle Palmieri had just hit the post, trying to go short side on Logan Thompson. And just a melee in front. The puck was never covered up, though. Thompson couldn't get his glove on top of it. And Schaefer, who was all the way above the left wing circle, just skated as fast as he could towards a loose puck above the crease. Got his stick in there, wedged home his first goal. Certainly wasn't the prettiest, but it doesn't matter. And it was actually one that took, 7-8 minutes for a lengthy review. The referees were on the headsets with Toronto looking to see if maybe the puck was moved with an illegal hand pass. That was not ruled, and so it is a good goal for Matthew Schaefer. Now he and the Islanders looking to get back at it and beat the Winnipeg Jets in a matinee. We're going to head downstairs now for both the Canadian and U.S. anthems. Here's public address announcer Alex Anthony.
Followed by the singing of the United States national anthem by 10-year-old Sonia Bella Santana.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God, keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets rang glad, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land and on the free, and the home of the brave.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Very well done. And that gets us set for hockey on a Monday afternoon. It is Columbus Day, and it's a matinee here on Long Island. The New York Islanders and Winnipeg Jets set to drop the puck for the first of two meetings this season. The Islanders will visit Winnipeg in their final meeting of the year in January. That, of course, on the road in Canada. By the way, it's also Canadian Thanksgiving, so happy Thanksgiving to all of our folks who are listening north of the border. Islanders 0-2 to start the year. Jets are 1-1. Winnipeg beat LA at home Saturday night 3-2. The Islanders coming off a 4-2 setback to the Capitals on Saturday right here at UBS. It's Ilya Sorokin against Eric Comrie, the starting goaltenders. The line of Anthony Duclair, Matt Barzal, Kyle Palmieri left to right. We'll get this one going defensively. It's the 18-year-old Matthew Schaefer coming off of points in his first two NHL games, and his first NHL goal Saturday night. He's paired up with Scott Mayfield. Vlad Nemesnikov at the dot for the Jets to get this one started. Winnipeg in the white sweaters moving right to left. Islanders countering left to right. In their blue tops and bottoms, they are trimmed in the white and orange. Islanders win the draw. They get it deep. And we're underway this afternoon. Game number 3 of the season for the Islanders. Duclair backdoor, and a shot right on for Barzal. Turned away by Comrie. Then a lengthy try from Schaefer's kicked away by Comrie. Schaefer again, straight away, right wing, Mayfield to the slot. Barzal leaves it. Schaefer shoots, and it's absorbed and held by Comrie. What a start for the Islanders. They press right away. 3 really good-looking grade A chances on net. 3 saves for Comrie. But the first 27 seconds before that whistle dominated by the Islanders offense. That's the start that the Islanders are looking for. They've been a little sluggish in their first 2 games to get going. We're a little bit better in Pittsburgh, but fell into an early deficit in that one within the first 4 minutes, and then they gave up a goal just a minute and 50 seconds into the Caps on Saturday. Dylan DeMello for the Jets defensively turns it over in the neutral zone, so it's lifted in by Bo Horvat. Jets are on it behind their net. Here's Josh Morrissey. What a defenseman he has become. Morrissey 4th in Norris voting last year. 3rd in the league in time on ice. Jets turn it over at center. Shot right on from the near side. Drouin snared by the goaltender Comrie, moving right to left. 4 saves already within the first minute for Comrie, and all 4 of them have been quality chances. The Islanders opening up the season through their first 2 games, being outscored 3-1 in first periods. Jets have scored 2 and have allowed 2 in first. The Jets scored the first goal in their opener. It was a 5-4 loss to the Dallas Stars. Kyle Connor with a hat trick in that game, though. 2 goals for Mark Scheifele on Saturday against LA. Scheifele with 5 points in 2 games so far this year. The Jets are on a 2-game road trip. They'll wrap up in Philadelphia on Thursday. Islanders in the middle game of a 3-game homestand. They've got Connor McDavid and the Edmonton Oilers right here Thursday night. Islanders win the draw, get it down low. Anders Lee behind the net, takes a bump from behind by defenseman Luke Shen. He spills down, puck comes up the near wing, right side and out through center in, and a tough angle shot redirects up and out of play from Nikita Chibrikov. Chibrikov in just his 8th NHL game today. Native of Moscow, 3rd NHL season, but last year played just 4 games. Only 1 game 2 seasons ago, his NHL debut. He has made Winnipeg's roster out of training camp. Young forward Nikita Chibrikov wearing number 90 for the Jets with that shot there. It's turned away by Sorokin. Leads to a face-off to Sorokin's right, one back by the Jets. Jonathan Toews. Talked plenty about him today as Chibrikov gets knocked down by Lee. Tough angle shot. Doesn't quite go from the far side of the net. That was Alex Iafallo. Coming away with it is J.G. Pajot. Short pass out through center. Burst of speed in down the left wing for Lee. He's ridden off the puck by Shen. Toews will tie up Pajot, left wing half wall. Chabonneau pokes it into the corner, and it's rimmed around the boards. Up to the right point. Shot doesn't get through for Mayfield. Here's Schaefer. His shot block comes right back to him. Another chance deflects up over the high glass and out of play with 18:05 to go in a very young first period. We're less than 2 minutes in. In case you haven't noticed, Josh Bailey has the day off. Alan Fearing here in the booth, flying solo with you this afternoon from UBS Arena. Happy to have you all along for the ride today. Face off in the left circle of the Islanders zone, and Casey Cizikas onto the ice. His 900th National Hockey League game today. Seems he's done it all. He's reached a nice round even number and another milestone for Casey Cizikas today. He also ties Bobby Nystrom for 5th most games played in New York Islanders history. Not the only one with a milestone today. J.G. Pajot playing in his 800th NHL game. Of course, not all of those with the Islanders organization like Cizikas. Romanov left point shot. This one handled rather easily by Comrie. Deflected it away with the stick. Jets have it in their own zone. Right wing Stanley up the wall. Pinching to the puck. Cizikas keeps it in. Good work for Cizikas and Holmstrom. They'll get it deeper. Cizikas throws the body against Stanley with a hit. Lead pass to Tanner Pearson. Pearson will advance it ahead. It's touched in deep by Cole Koepke, the former Tampa Bay Lightning and Boston Bruins forward. 2 minutes, 45 seconds into the first period. No score on Long Island. Shots 5-1 favoring the Islanders. All 5 of those shots coming within the first 2.5 minutes. Hard on the forecheck. Islanders steal it away. Matt Barzal out in front of the net, trying to receive a pass from Duclair, but it jumped off of his stick. He was bothered by Kyle Connor the entire time as well, and the Jets will get it in deep. Puck slides to the left wing corner of Isles Ice, and then stripped away by Barzal. Out through center, Palmieri. Back into the right wing corner. Barzal gives chase. Morrissey beats him to the puck. Josh Morrissey will touch it over towards Connor. He's bothered by Duclair. A loose puck slides out in the neutral zone. Adam Pellick plays it D to D for Ryan Pollock. Stretch pass for Barzal. He'll touch it in deep. Emil Heineman hard in after it. Winning that race by a step is Luke Shen. 35-year-old Luke Shen. His 18th NHL season. Starting his second with the Winnipeg Jets, was traded a couple of times last year. Right at the deadline in March, he was traded 2 times in 3 days. Now it's with his 9th NHL team. Here's Colin Miller straight away. Shot blocked by Heineman. Right back to Miller, another veteran. veteran D-man. Lone shoots from the point, save made, rebounds loose. And a chance on a follow-up try from Nino Niederreiter. Was kicked away by Sorokin's right pad. I'm not sure that initial shot ever got through. I think it was blocked down by a defender out in front of the crease. Sorokin made the save. Here's Schaefer in down the near side through the right circle. He's bodied down by Miller, who keeps Matthew Schaefer to the perimeter. No shot on goal that time. Jets get it out. They'll make a change. 4.5 minutes gone in today's first period. No score. Shot 6-1 in favor of the Isles. Here's Pajot. Launches one ahead. Shabanov couldn't settle it down. Too much mustard on it. May have touched it, though. They're going to wave icing off. And Islanders in. Hard after it. Back behind the net is Anders Lee. He's rubbed off the puck by Pionk. And a penalty coming up. This will be on Lee and the Islanders. Delayed call. Winnipeg comes in with it. Neil Pionk tries to sidestep a sliding Lee. Lee touches it. And he's going to get called for slashing with 15:08 to play in the first period. First special teams activity of the afternoon. It'll be a Winnipeg power play.
New York, number 27, minor penalty. Slash.
So slashing on the Islanders captain. That third line was hard in after the puck behind the Winnipeg net. Anders Lee, Max Shabanov were in the area. And Anders Lee got a piece of Neil Pionk, was trying to wrap him up. Got his stick in the midsection. And minor penalty called by referee Kelly Sutherland. Michael Markovic, Kelly Sutherland, referees today. Libor Shushkanek and Dan Kelly are working the lines. 5 minutes gone in the first period. Islanders on the kill. Winnipeg with the puck. They're through center ice. And here's Iafallo entering the zone left wing. Bothered by Adam Pelech. Comes back towards Iafallo. Pelech now out in front of Connor. Will rim it around. Softly and onto the stick of Kyle Palmieri, who just touches it down the ice from the neutral zone. Islanders change their killers. 14.5 to go in the first period. Here's Kyle Connor on a lead pass from Morrissey. This is a very potent Winnipeg power play. Scheifele trying to drive the net. Stripped away by Matthew Schaefer. Great stick there. He rims it around but can't clear out the right point. And then a pass out to the line from Morrissey. Deflects off the stick and goes out of play. 14-16 to go in the first. In fact, last year this was the best power play in the National Hockey League. The Winnipeg Jets were 28.9% in 2024-25. So far this year, they're just 1 for 8. The Islanders penalty kill 5 for 7 so far under new leadership. Bob Bugner running the Islanders kill. Was perfect Saturday night against the Capitals. Trying to start this game 1 for 1. Got 1 minute to go on the initial Jets man advantage. Front through center by Gus Nyquist. He'll leave it for Vlad Nemesnikov. Jonathan Taves in down the left wing. Out high for Pionk. Back to Taves left wing. He'll go deeper. Nemesnikov, Taves, load, shoots, blocked down before it got to Sorokin. That was Adam Pelech who took the shooting lane away. Pelech couldn't clear. Pionk at the right point with the keep. Sends it into the right corner for Nino Niederreiter, former 5th overall pick of the New York Islanders back in 2010. Pionk straight away over to the right wing. Gus Nyquist down low. Taves back to Nyquist. They have a catch, and it's Taves again, right wing wall. Jonathan Taves out in front of Ryan Pulock. Bottom of the right circle with a pass. Shot off the side of the net from Gus Nyquist. 15 seconds to go on the kill. Here's Nemesnikov as the Jets try the left wing. Out high, Neil Pionk, the former New York Ranger, to the right wing through the circle. And a centering feed comes all the way through off the stick of Taves. Islanders can't clear, though. 1 second to go on the kill. Out of the box comes Lee. Centering pass through the crease off the stick of Taves. And now here's Pionk, but he's double-teamed between Horvat and Lee. Up the puck deep somehow. Nifty play there for Pionk. He's out of gas. He'll go to the bench for a change. On comes Dylan DeMello, the 32-year-old. In his 11th NHL season already for DeMello. Islanders with the puck now, 5-on-5 as they are 1 for 1 on the penalty kill. No harm, no foul on the early slashing minor against the Islanders captain Anders Lee. In down the left wing, it's D'Angelo to the corner. Shabanov centers. Pajot blows a tire. Look out here. Jets have numbers. Kepke, right side, feeds it in front to the net. And a shot, they score! Morgan Barron gives the Jets a 1-0 lead. 12:25 to go in the first period. Koepke right wing to Barron, crashing the net. Barron scores, backhand on Sorokin. And for the third straight game to start this season, the Islanders allow the first one. Well, using the speed, Morgan Barron got in behind Alex Romanov. He drove the net. Got a pinpoint pass from Koepke and down the right side. He received that pass when he was behind Romanov by a full step. Caught the puck on the forehand right at the top of the crease. Swiftly turned to the backhand and beat Ilya Sorokin glove side. Morgan Barron, the 26-year-old, has now scored his second goal in 3 games to start the year. He's got 3 points in 3 games. And it's Morgan Barron scoring within the first 8 minutes to give the Winnipeg Jets a 1-0 lead. Islanders looking to answer, and Matt Barzal comes in left side, hits the brakes above the circle, feeds Palmieri through the slot. Palmieri stick-handled around Connor, but then had it stripped away by Scheifele. And here come the Jets. It's Velarde in. Turns away from a Palmieri check at the left point. Dumps it into the corner. Directs it behind the net. Scott Mayfield absorbs a hit from Mark Scheifele. Finds a little space, feeds Matt Barzal. He can get out of any sort of jam. Don't want to give Matt Barzal too much space if you're an opponent. Barzal's going to bring it all the way across the Jets line, then leaves it for Duclair straight ahead. Here's Barzal taking a Schaefer pass. Into the left circle, one-time shot, sails wide from Emil Heineman. Heineman still looking for his first point as an Islander. As Pionk shoots it off the far wall, it's going to go all the way down. And icing is called on the Jets with 11:17 to play in the first period. Islanders out shooting Winnipeg 6-2, trailing 1-0. Winnipeg led by head coach Scott Arniel, who was the Jack Adams runner-up to Spencer Carberry last season. Arniel got 16 first-place votes, 52 second-place votes in the Jack Adams race. Scott Arniel led Winnipeg to the President's Trophy last year. This Jets team was a +63 goal differential. That led the NHL by quite a bit. Up the face-off, Pionk tries to find a way out. Flips it up to the left point, but a good keep for Adam Pelech. Round the wall it comes into the right wing corner. Pionk ahead for Connor. Connor out to center. Here's Logan Stanley, a little bit of room. And then closing in on him is Adam Pelech. Pelech's going to ride him off the puck into the glass. Islanders take over thanks to that effort. And it's Horvat, cross-ice pass onto the mark for Drouin. He's in quickly, sprays some snow as he pulls back. Cuts back to the blue line, left point. All the way across the pass from Romanov to D'Angelo. D'Angelo rims it around. Left wing half wall. Drouin had it stripped by Iafallo, the former LA King. Part of that big deal a couple of years ago that was in exchange for Pierre Dubois, who we saw on Saturday, now a Washington Capital. There's Nyquist, takes a little touch pass from Nina Ryder. In down the right side, cuts back. Sets up Shen at the blue line, right point, wrist shot, never got through. Penalty coming up. This will be on the Islanders and Casey Cizikas this time. He was trying to get to that rebound and at the same time was trying to cancel out Gus Nyquist. They get together in a penalty here with 10:10 to go in the opening period. They're going to get Cizikas. And I wonder if they're going to get Gus Nyquist as well. They may cancel this out. We'll see. Right now we know Cizikas is in the box.
Number 53, 2 minutes for interference.
There's the call. It's interference on Cizikas, and there is only one penalty. So Jets to the power play when we return. They're going to try to take a 2-0 lead on the Islanders. 10:10 to go in the first period today at UBS Arena. This is New York Islanders hockey on the Islanders Radio Network.
New York Islanders hockey is underwritten by the NHL on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
New York Islanders social media. Instagram at NY Islanders. TikTok at NY Islanders. X at NY Islanders. Facebook, New York Islanders. YouTube at NY_Islanders. LinkedIn, New York Islanders. New York Islanders social media for the world's greatest fans.
Acrisure underwrites a part of this New York Islanders live game broadcast on WRHU Radio Hofstra University.
Hey, I'm forward Jonathan Drouin, and you're tuned into New York Islanders hockey.
Islanders down 1-0 this afternoon. 10:10 to go in the first period as the Islanders take on the Winnipeg Jets. The Islanders are headed to the penalty kill. Casey Cizikas called for interference just before we went to break. So the Islanders have their work cut out for them. So this deficit doesn't double up, make it 2-0. I'm going to go ahead and get this stat out of the way right now in an effort for the reverse jinx. What I mean by that is the Islanders have only started the season 0-3-0 one time in franchise history. How about that? That was back in the 2006-2007 season. They went on to make the playoffs that year as well. But bringing that up, certainly would love to get this record to 1-2 rather than 0-3 to start the year here this afternoon. Right now, the Jets control the face-off. They win it. And it's a shot by Morrissey above the left circle that produced a rebound, but no grade A second effort there. Back to Morrissey as the Jets set up. Shifley, left wing half wall to the goal line extended, and then getting tied up by Ryan Pulock is Gabe Vilardi. Adam Pelech gets his stick in there. Kyle Palmieri using the body. He'll nudge off Iafallo. Islanders come away with it. It's Bo Horvat 1-on-2, slowly in transition, and then he's stalled out entirely by Morrissey. Bo Horvat brought it in quickly, slowed to a snail's pace, gave it up, but it burns off some quality time as now the Jets have to bring it 200 feet the other way, right to left, operate the visitors. 9:20 to go in the first period, 1:10 left on the Jets power play. Islanders with a quick clear this time, thanks to Simon Holmstrom and J.G. Pageau. Pageau to the bench, Holmstrom stays on, along with Schaefer, Mayfield, and now Bo Horvat comes over the wall. We've seen Matthew Schaefer all of a sudden get minutes on the top line of the power play, or the top unit, I should say, from Saturday night. Plays a ton at even strength. He's getting a little penalty kill time here as well. Jets come in offside. Got a little bunched up there at the blue line with 8:54 to go in the first period. It's a 1-0 Jets lead. 44 seconds left on Islanders 53. Casey Cizikas serving his interference minor. Face off in the neutral zone. Horvat for the Isles. Take it against Jonathan Toews of the Winnipeg Jets. 37 years old. 16th NHL season for Toews. As Horvat wins the draw, Pelech clears it. Jonathan Toews has not played in the NHL in 2 full seasons. Signed a 1-year deal with his hometown team to get back into the league in June. Today is 1,070th career NHL game for the 3-time Stanley Cup champion with the Blackhawks, Jonathan Toews. Point shot by Pionk, kicked away easily by Sorokin. Comes to the right corner, now back out to the line. Toews down the left wing wall. That is Nemesnikov to Pionk straight away. Shot saved. Sorokin rebound was there, and he got that one at the goal line, extended from Iafallo, but they stay with it, and the Jets score. Near side, it's Nino Niederreiter, was left all alone. He taps in the game's second goal, 2-0 Winnipeg. It's a power play goal, and the Jets cash in on a bit of a scramble in front. Good save for Sorokin moving to his left. He got a chance point-blank range along the goal line extended to his left, but never could cover it up. The Jets stayed with it. They came around the horn, and Niederreiter was sitting on the back post behind Ryan Pulock, unaccounted for. The Islanders had 3 players all going after one Jet along the right wing post, and they left Nino Niederreiter all alone back door, and it's a slam dunk for the former New York Islander Niederreiter. Islanders draft pick, first 2 years in the league here on Long Island. Went to Minnesota where he spent 6 years in that Cal Clutterbuck trade. Wonder what Cal's comments are. He's working the MSG broadcast for TV down below us this afternoon. It was a 1-for-1 swap back in 2013. Islanders down 2-0. Here's Siplikov above the right hash mark. Shot blocked by Morrissey. Leads to a chance in transition. Barron pokes it ahead. Here's Tanner Pearson in. Pearson centering pass blocked away out to the left point. Islanders have it. Now they've got numbers. And it's 3-on-2. Barzal takes charge over the line. Tries to cut back, and it's swept off his stick by Koepke. We get a whistle down low and an interference penalty coming up on the Jets. Islanders to the power play when we return. Interference on Cole Koepke. This is New York Islanders hockey on the New York Islanders Radio Network.
New York Lottery underwrites a part of this New York Islanders live game broadcast on Radio Hofstra University.
The New York Army National Guard pays you up to 100% of your college tuition while you serve your community part-time. Learn more at nationalguard.com. Sponsored by the New York Army National Guard, aired by the New York State Broadcasters Association and this station.
New York Islanders hockey is underwritten by the NHL on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
This is your home for New York Islanders live game broadcasts. WRHU FM Hempstead, Radio Hofstra University.
UBS Arena supports this New York Islanders live game broadcast on Radio Hofstra University.
Hey, I'm Anders Lee, and you're tuned in to New York Islanders hockey.
Islanders trailing 2-0 to the Winnipeg Jets, 7:27 to go in the first period, but the Islanders are headed to the power play. This is where Matthew Schaefer scored his first NHL goal on Saturday night. He celebrated in somewhat of a Mighty Ducks theme. He was asked about it after that game. Here's what he had to say.
Mighty Ducks or something, so trying to react that, I guess. But no, it was good. I mean, obviously, I think the biggest thing with me is just I love to win, and I thought we battled back, and I thought it was a great fight back for sure.
Matthew Schaefer scoring his first NHL goal, actually becomes the youngest power play goal scorer in NHL history, and that one will certainly be memorable for him and all of the Islanders fans who are here in attendance, and even those of you who are watching or listening elsewhere. A lot of folks won't remember the score of that home opener on Saturday night. What they will remember is Matthew Schaefer scoring and again going up, kind of chest bumping the glass on the far side, hopping up into the air. What a celebration it was. And that one on the power play. Right now the Islanders are on their first power play of today's game. Interference the call on Cole Koepke of the Jets. Islanders looking to cut their deficit in half. 7:10 to go in the period. 1:42 left on the power play. Here's Barzal. Takes a drop pass from Drouin. Sends it in down the left side. Horvat will rim it around. And it's Palmieri right wing. Out to the point, Drouin. D'Angelo quarterbacking the power play. Left wing, Barzal. Palmieri, goal line extended. Back to Barzal. Out high, D'Angelo comes this way. Right wing, stepping Drouin. Doesn't shoot. Here's D'Angelo downhill. Wrist shot caught Comrie up high. Falls down in this slot. And referee signaling keep play alive. Here's a chance for Barzal to the bottom of the left circle. Palmieri, tough angle shot. Canceled out by Pion. Thought the referee was going to blow it dead for a hand pass, but he let it go. Barzal, deep slot. Cross ice pass, Palmieri, left wing. Has a catch with D'Angelo left side. Back down low. Palmieri out high. D'Angelo has Barzal downhill. Has a look. Stick handles to the slot. Horvat shoots. Save Comrie. No rebound. Comrie melts it down. 6:12 to go in the first. 45 seconds left on this power play. Penalty on number 45 of the Jets in Cole Koepke, who signed a one-year deal away from Boston back in July. Also played 28 games, including his NHL debut with Tampa, someone who Matthew Darche is extremely familiar with, and was quoted a couple of years ago saying that it's going to be very tough to let Cole Koepke go. Koepke started his career with Tampa Bay and was traded to Boston. Jets win the faceoff, clear it down the ice. Power play now at 30 seconds. In with speed, Max Shabanov in down the right side. Had a little opening, left it for Duclair. Duclair pokes it behind the net, now reversing course with it, Emil Heineman. Duclair right back to Heineman. He's double teamed. Shen and Morrissey sandwich the Islanders forward. Back out to the point. Schaefer straight away, on for Duclair, right wing. Schaefer above the slot. Here's Duclair, right wing, above the circle. Wrist shot, knocked down and covered by Comrie. That's save number 10 for the 30-year-old Comrie. Connor Hellebuck had played the first two games of the year for the Jets. The defending Vezina Hart Trophy winner, also the Jennings Trophy winner, back-to-back seasons entering this one. The Islanders don't have to see Hellebuck today. The Jets don't have a back-to-back set of games until late this month, very similar to the Islanders, who won't have a back-to-back until the final 2 days of this month in Carolina and then in D.C., October 30th and 31st. As the Jets will clear it down the ice, and then nearly got on it for a shorthanded chance. Out of the box comes Koepke. One Islander gets knocked down in the near corner and in pain. That is Scott Mayfield. He'll hop back up. He had Taves' stick wedged in between his arms, or his arm and his body, I should say, as they come untangled. Fans in the near corner wanting a penalty, none called. It's back to 5-on-5 action as the Jets' penalty kill has come up successful. 1 for 1 on the kill are the Jets. They're 1 for 2 on the power play. Special teams saw better days after the opener in Pittsburgh on Thursday. Then the special teams was incredible against the Capitals on Saturday night. So far, it's been a tough start for special teams. It's been either feast or famine. Jets come back in. Kyle Connor right on. And this one deflects over to the left wing corner. Connor shot from the slot. Mayfield, a hard battle behind the net with Velarde, and then Miller at the point with a shot that's swallowed up by Sorokin. Mayfield wants a piece of Velarde. They are tied up with the help of the linesman. Linesman Dan Kelly right in the middle of Mayfield and Velarde. That was a vicious set of cross-checks against one another. That battle then took its way back behind the net and then right back out in front. No penalties. Timeout on the ice. 4:22 to go in the first period. Islanders down 2-0. This is New York Islanders hockey on the Islanders Radio Network.
New York Islander game broadcasts are supported in part by MSG Plus and MSG.com.
This is your New York Islanders Radio Network, produced and distributed by WRHU-FM Hempstead, Radio Hofstra University.
Daily Pay underwrites a part of this New York Islanders live game broadcast on WRHU Radio Hofstra University.
New York Lottery underwrites a part of this New York Islanders live game broadcast on Radio Hofstra University.
The numbers are in. Once again, WRHU is New York's number one non-commercial radio station. Thank you, New York, for your support.
88.7 WRHU, Radio Hofstra University.
Acrisure underwrites a part of this New York Islanders live game broadcast on WRHU Radio Hofstra University.
Hey, this is Matthew Barzell, and you're tuned in to New York Islanders hockey.
Islanders trailing the Jets 2-0 this afternoon on Long Island. 2 goals on 9 shots for Winnipeg. One of those goals on the power play. The Islanders trying to battle back. It's felt like they've had the puck in the offensive zone a little bit more than the Jets. They actually are out shooting Winnipeg 11-9, but the Jets have found a couple of openings on Ilya Sorokin. The New York Islanders top minor league affiliate, the Bridgeport Islanders, with a win yesterday in their second game, 6-2 over the Belleville Senators, Ottawa's affiliates. Got a couple of goals in that one from Long Island's own Marshall Warren, who was a heck of a defenseman in training camp, had a great preseason. Laurel Hollow, New York native Marshall Warren, just a couple of minutes ago, was named the AHL Player of the Week, by the way. Congratulations to Marshall Warren. 2 goals, 2 assists, +4 rating in a couple of opening weekend games for Bridgeport. Here's Horvat to the net quickly, draws a penalty. A shot kicked back by Comrie, is driving in with strength and speed. Bo Horvat, bottom of the right circle to the side of the crease. Shot didn't go, but a penalty is drawn. Colin Miller to the box. Islanders back to the power play.
Winnipeg, number 6, minor penalty. Tripping.
So a tripping call on Colin Miller. Season debut for the 32-year-old Colin Miller. This is the last few years sort of had a comfortability with the nature of being a 6th or 7th defenseman. He's somewhat of the 7th D on Winnipeg's roster, but he draws in as Hayden Fleury is day-to-day with a bruised knee, and so no Fleury today. Miller takes Fleury's spot, and now Miller's in the box. Islanders on another power play. Here's Drouin, touches it back, post had Palmieri, and Palmieri couldn't finish it. Shot went wide of the left post by less than a foot on the Drouin. Quick pass diagonally from the right circle. Out high, Horvat. Barzal set up D'Angelo above the slot. Comes this way to the right wing. Back over the left side. Horvat, touch pass Barzal, back to Horvat. One-timer blocked by Koepke. Wore that one, and he's in pain. Barzal down low for Palmieri, trying to spin on the backhand. Lost the handle on it. Then gets the puck back, and after he retrieves it, he sets up Barzal left wing. Barzal tried to return it to Palmieri, and that one may have been forced, and it allows Neil Pionk to clear. 1:06 to go on the Islanders' power play. Here's D'Angelo in straight away. Drifts to his left, has Horvat there. He'll return it to the point for Tony D'Angelo. Short pass down the wall for Matt Barzal. Head up, backhands it to the slot. D'Angelo, Barzal, D'Angelo straight ahead yet again. He'll feed Barzal left side, takes a step across. Drouin's shot found the glass. And it kicks around the glass and all the way down on its own. And the Islanders clear the puck themselves after the shot by Jonathan Drouin sailed high up over the crossbar and caught the back window. 30 seconds to go on the Miller penalty. Islanders trying to get something going here on the power play. 2 power play goals Saturday night against the Caps here. Schaefer weaves his way in past 2 Jets, and then a shot blocked wide. Comes up the left wing, Shabanov with the key. The half wall, turnover, Lee in front, bouncing puck, and he sent it over to Duclair, but a little late. Right circle, Shabanov out high, across. Here's Duclair to the net with a shot. That one missed by less than a foot as he tries for the stick end of Eric Comrie. Out of the box is Miller. Power play done. Duclair slap shot right wing, deflects out of play. 1:56 to go in the first period. Islanders coming up short on that power play, but that was their best look at the man advantage today. Had a couple that probably should have gone, including one chance from the right circle that was fed in at the net where Anders Lee was positioned, hunting for a tip, and it came through him. Another chance in which Kyle Palmieri backdoor, swing and a miss, but he was kind of squared up towards the end wall rather than right at the net, and that helped out the Jets defensively. 2-0 Winnipeg, under 2 minutes to go in the first period. Shots 12-10 favoring the Islanders. Jets win a faceoff in their zone, and through center they come, and it's Mark Scheifele who dumps it into the left corner. Scheifele took a bump from Romanov, popped the puck free. Islanders back on it. Siplikov out to center for Holmstrom. He'll leave it for Mayfield, cruising in over the line. Sails a shot wide left off the corner glass. Puck is poked to the crease by Cizikas, taken over by Josh Morrissey. He's played more than 26.5 minutes on average so far this season. 3rd in the National Hockey League, behind Travis Sanheim of the Flyers and Evan Bouchard of the Edmonton Oilers. Islanders through center with a 2-on-2, which may turn into a 2-on-1. Canceled out, though, by Niederreiter. Cizikas had no gas left in the tank. Niederreiter got in front of him, and so Cizikas just dumped it in cross ice. Heads to the bench. 1 minute to go in today's first period. Islanders trailing 2-0. As Dylan DeMello will pull up at the right point, chips to the corner. Brian Pollock back after it. He'll cancel out Vlad Nemesnikov. The Jets give it up deep. Islanders have the puck, but still in Isles ice. It comes around the boards. 35 seconds to go in period number 1. Now we'll get a whistle for a hand pass along the goal line extended of the Jet zone. It's on the Islanders, so it will come out to center. Now stick around for the first intermission report today. You won't want to miss this. It's our 10-question sit-down series, which today features Casey Cizikas in his 900th National Hockey League game. We'll ask Cizikas about the best and the most memorable games that he's ever played. We've got a whole lot more with Casey Cizikas, plus an in-game sports update. We'll look back at the first 20 minutes, and we'll get you set for the second period. That's all coming up on our first intermission report. Islanders down 2-0 to the Jets right now. Miles 0 for 2 on the power play, 1 for 2 on the kill. Right now 5 on 5. The Jets won the face-off courtesy of Jonathan Taves. Dumped in. Matthew Schaefer first one on it. A stride and a half out in front of Taves. He'll take it through center quickly. Races in, trying to get a little daylight around Barron. Barron closed him off with the hip. Back into Isles ice it goes. 2-1. And period number 1 comes to a close. It's 2-0 Winnipeg after 20 minutes this afternoon. Now the shots favor the Islanders 12-10. They had 2 power play chances but could not come up with a goal on Eric Comrie. Comrie with 12 saves. Ilya Sorokin 8 saves on 10 shots. See if we can grab an Islanders player on his way to the dressing room. Just outside of the dressing room in the hallway. And now we have J.G. Pajot with us down below. J.G., thanks for joining us. You guys trailed 2-0 after 1, but did a lot of good things. How would you assess that first period?
Yeah, I thought we came out hard. We put a lot of pucks on net right away. I think that created good momentum for us. Obviously, they scored 2, and I thought our power play got back and gave us some momentum again. So they had some good chances, and we got to build off that.
Milestone game today for you, number 800 in the National Hockey League. Do you have a few of those games in your career that stand out more than others?
They're all special. It's a dream come true when you play your first game, and to still be here and have the chance to do what I like, for a living, and to do it day in, day out with the group of guys that we have here. I enjoy every day.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations on that number. Good luck the rest of the way.
All right, thank you.
That's Jean-Gabriel Pajot outside of the Islanders' dressing room. His team will look to regroup and get back even and then ahead of the Winnipeg Jets here today. It's a 2-0 Jets lead after 20 minutes. We'll take a break. We'll have the 10-question sit-down with Casey Cizikas and much more. After this, you're listening to New York Islanders hockey on the Islanders Radio Network.
UBS Arena supports this New York Islanders live game broadcast on Radio Hofstra University.
This is your home for New York Islanders live game broadcasts. WRHU FM Hempstead, Radio Hofstra University.
Daily Pay underwrites a part of this New York Islanders live game broadcast on WRHU Radio Hofstra University.
New York Islanders social media. Instagram at NY Islanders. TikTok at NY Islanders. X at NY Islanders. Facebook, New York Islanders. YouTube at NY_Islanders. LinkedIn, New York Islanders. New York Islanders social media for the world's greatest fans.
New York Islanders hockey is underwritten by the NHL on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
The numbers are in. Once again, WRHU is New York's number one non-commercial radio station. Thank you, New York, for your support.
88.7 WRHU, Radio Hofstra University.
When the Islanders are on the ice, we're on the air. The New York Islanders Radio Network.
Hey, I'm forward Kyle Palmieri, and you're tuned into New York Islanders hockey.
Islanders down 2-0 to the Jets after the first period here today. A milestone game for J.G. Pajot, as we mentioned, number 800 for him, but also Casey Cizikas, 900 NHL games now as of today. He's our guest on the 10 questions sit down. I asked Casey Cizikas, what's the best game that you ever played?
I mean, my first NHL game. That's something that we all dream of. That's something that we work extremely hard to achieve, and one that I'll remember and be very proud of.
Do you feel like that one was one of those memorable games that you had an impact in, or is there another game that you can think of that you really are proud of the effort because you thought it was the best effort maybe that you've ever put out on the ice?
Definitely one of the most memorable. It was it was a Ranger Islanders game at the Coliseum, and those I don't think I was ready for that kind of atmosphere, and that was a lot of fun. But I think that first series against Pittsburgh, when we made the playoffs. That's something I can look back on my career and being as young as I was to have an impact, I think, in that series. I was definitely proud of that.
Who do you think is the most underrated player in the NHL right now?
I mean, I don't know if he's necessarily underrated. I don't think he gets enough credit for his game. I'm a big fan of Kempe in Los Angeles. I think the way he plays the game, I think he's an elite player. He does all the right things, and I think he's more deserving. Maybe he gets the credit. I just don't see it, but I think he's more deserving, for the type of game he plays.
Let's say a fan wants your autograph at the rink, whether it's a practice day or maybe a game day. In your opinion, what's the best time for a fan to approach you for an autograph?
I guess after practice. After games are tough, I think. I feel bad sometimes driving by. I know they're waiting there, but sometimes it is tough, and I will stop once in a while. But after practice, I would say it's probably the best.
I love this question. Have you ever been pranked by an Islanders teammate over the years?
Yeah.
And if so, we need the story.
I mean, there's nothing really serious. I mean, you're talking small ones like a water cup under the helmet, or we used to fill guys. I remember, well, I did it when Greg Cronin was here. We filled his hockey stick up with water and put the knob back in, and he.
How did he take that?
He couldn't figure out why his stick felt weird on the ice at the start, and I think that. Just little innocent ones like that, or that one was pretty good.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love that story. When you encounter a tough night at the rink, what's the best medicine to get over that when you get back home?
You always think of what you could have done better. What if I did this? What if I did that? But I think the best thing is just to go over the game, go over your shifts, and kind of just accept. The game, it happens fast out there, and when you watch it back on video, sometimes you're looking at it and you're like, oh my God, I could have made this play. I could have made this play. I could have done this better. But in that moment of the game, it doesn't always happen like that. So you just got to remind yourself to, tomorrow's a new day, and, I'm going to be better tomorrow.
Some guys like to watch their shifts and their clips. Some guys like to just forget about it altogether. So you're one of those guys that watches
them. Yeah. Watches them, gets frustrated at myself, and then tell myself tomorrow's a new day. We're going to get better. We're going to be better.
What athlete do you admire most outside of hockey?
I kind of admire, like, every sport's different, and that's what I appreciate. I mean, you can go from, basketball. These guys are, 6'5", 6'6", 6'7", 6'8", 7 foot, running up and down the court, and the amount, and that court isn't very big. When you watch a game up close, it's tight quarters and there's big bodies. Baseball, what it takes to, it's a one-on-one battle, the mental battle between a pitcher and a hitter. What pitchers have to go through, and then even coming into a game as a closer, it's 3 out. I mean, everything UFC, you have 2 animals going into a cage that, like, it's me or you. It's me or you. It's a mental thing. So, like, yeah, I can't really pick out one person because, I admire every single sport and what each athlete has to do.
Talking with Casey Cizikas here on the 10 Questions Sit Down. Casey, what's one app on your smartphone that you have that you think everybody else needs to know about?
I don't have Instagram. I don't have Twitter. A lot of these things. Me and my son, we play this game called Baseball 9. It's like a backyard baseball. I don't know if you remember that game. Backyard baseball.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So it's something like that. Me and him, he'll have his iPad, I'll play on my phone, and we'll kind of just sit there and have fun and play that game together.
Pablo Sanchez, all time.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
Casey, when's the last time you got nervous about anything?
When my children were born. Okay. That's kind of a different one. You're nervous. You want them to be healthy. You're nervous about, am I going to be a good father? Am I going to be able to do this or do that? And, I think it kind of just all plays itself, but, definitely first, it doesn't matter if it's the first, second, or third. It's always, it's something new. And, I would say that's kind of the big one.
Only a couple of more for you. What's a question you're tired of answering that maybe you get asked all the time? See, I'm trying to switch it up here with some different ones. Is there anything that you get asked all the time that you're just like, please don't ask me this anymore?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a few, but it's it's part of playing sports. It's it's the same question. What could have you guys done differently tonight? What could you have done? But you understand that where the reporters are coming from and what they need to do to tell the story. So it's definitely a lot easier after a win than it is after a loss to answer those questions.
Enough of my questions. I've got one from Patrick Waugh, your head coach, who we spoke with a couple of days ago. He knew he was asking you this question. I think it's a pretty good one. You've made Long Island home, obviously, for many years. Your son plays youth hockey right here on the island. Patrick Waugh wanted me to pass along the question. When you watch your son play youth hockey right now, how does that make you feel?
It makes me extremely proud. It's exciting, and I see the fun that he has on the ice. I see the joy that he has being out there, being with his friends. Sometimes sometimes it can be frustrating. 7 years old, their attention span isn't really fully there yet. They're laughing, they're joking, they're beating each other up in practice when they should be focusing on the coach. But just the fun that he's having. Out there, the excitement he has when he goes to the rink every single day to skate. It just brings me back to when I was a kid, and I'm just lucky enough to be on this side watching him enjoy it, just like my parents did.
Sure. We're going to bridge our next interview with a question that I'd like for you to pass along for Josh Bailey. He's going to join us, obviously a good friend of yours. Came across the note the other night that you've now played 15 seasons as an Islander, tying only Josh Bailey as the longest tenured post-dynasty era. So you guys go way back, I know. Anything in particular I can ask Josh on your behalf?
I'm going to stick with something to do with kids as well. For how long he played, and you can reword this the way you want. For how long he played, for the success that he had as a player, he's now coaching his sons. What advice do you have for parents? When you're trying to balance that coach child relationship? What are the positives, and what are some things that are tougher or that maybe you struggle with?
We'll talk to Josh coming up in the game against Edmonton on Thursday. Casey, this was great. Thank you so much for your time.
All right, thank you.
Good stuff there from Casey Cizikas, the 34-year-old. Today his 900th NHL game, tying Bobby Nystrom for fifth most in New York Islanders history. And next game, Thursday night, 9:01 for Casey Cizikas. That would tie Brock Nelson for fourth place. Islanders down 2-0 after one here at UBS Arena. Goals from Morgan Barron and Nino Niederreiter in the first period. Ilya Sorokin has made 8 saves on 10 shots. Eric Comrie in net for the Jets, 12 saves on 12 shots. Second period coming up in just a few minutes. First, we'll head back to the Hofstra University studios for an in-game sports update.
Live from our Hofstra studios, I'm Billy Nafash. There are 9 other games on the NHL slate throughout this Columbus Day, and we'll start in the city named after him with the Blue Jackets hosting the Devils. Freshly extended New Jersey defenseman Luke Hughes seeks to become the first defenseman this century to record multiple assists in their first 3 games of a season. Puck drop is set for 7 p.m. Also at 7 p.m., the Flyers host the reigning back-to-back champs and the Panthers in Philly's home opener. Florida looks to become the second defending Cup winner in the last 3 years to open the season with 4 straight wins. The winless Sabres trail the Avalanche 2-1 in the second in Buffalo. Early in the first, Nathan MacKinnon scored his 3rd goal in 4 games this season.
Tries to find MacKinnon. Got it back on the stick in the slot. Back in, jump. He scores! Nathan MacKinnon. What a...
Sound courtesy of Altitude Sports. The unbeaten Bruins trail 2-0 to the winless Lightning after one in Massachusetts. Boston looks to open the season with 4 straight wins for the 8th time in franchise history, though Anthony Cirelli's 2 first-period goals are proving to be a challenge.
And here's a chance for Gage Gonzalez. Loose puck, left side. Centers it back across the green. In front, they score! What a start for the Lightning. A tap in by Anthony Cirelli. 1 minute, 9 seconds into the game, and it's 1-0 Tampa Bay.
Sound courtesy of Scripps Sports. It's Canadian Thanksgiving, and there are 3 games up north, starting with the Predators scoreless with the Senators after 1 in the Canadian capital. The Sens have won 5 straight home openers. The Maple Leafs host the Red Wings in an Original 6 showdown. Toronto is playing on the holiday for the first time in 8 years. Puck drop is in a matter of moments. The Blues head to Vancouver to clash with the Canucks. St. Louis forward Robert Thomas needs 2 points to reach 400 in his career, and he would become the second fastest player in franchise history to do so. Puck drop is set for 7:30. Kings Are Wild is the game in Minnesota tonight. Wild forwards Matt Boldy and newly enriched Kirill Kaprizov are each looking to record 3 points for the 3rd straight game to open their season. Puck drop between LA and Minnesota is set for 8 p.m. The league's nightcap features the Blackhawks hosting the Mammoth at 8:30. Chicago is still looking for their first win of the season. The Islanders trail the visiting Jets 2-0 after 1 period of play. From our WRHU Hofstra studios, I'm Billy Nafesh. Let's send it back to Alan Feuring for second period Islanders radio coverage.
Thanks so much, Billy. Good stuff there. Islanders and Jets, part of 10 games in the NHL today. There are several matinees, as you heard. The games that we're noting here in the booth. Well, of course, you got that Colorado-Buffalo game. Interested to see what Buffalo does this season. They are off to a tough start. Lindy Ruff, the Sabres head coach, speaking to the media after their last game, calling out the team's effort and their compete level. You never want to hear that from a coach, especially this early in the season. Now, Boston's undefeated. They've got Tampa Bay, as you heard, at home this afternoon. So we've got plenty of action to keep track of. We got plenty of action here at UBS Arena out on the ice to keep track of as well. Morgan Barron, Nino Niederreiter with the goals so far. Morgan Barron's came at 7:35 of the first period, so a goal in the first 8 minutes gives the Jets, at the time, gave them a 1-0 lead. 3rd consecutive game to start the year that the Islanders have allowed the first goal. On opening night in Pittsburgh, it was in the first 4 minutes. Saturday, it was within the first 2 minutes. Today, took 7:35. Nino Niederreiter's power play goal at 11:48 made it 2-0. Gus Nyquist, Jonathan Taves with the assists on the Niederreiter power play goal. Cole Koepke, Tanner Pearson with assists on Morgan Barron's 2nd of the year, which opened the scoring. Islanders 0 for 2 on the power play. They're 1 for 2 on the kill. Ilya Sorokin, 8 saves on 10 shots. Eric Comrie, 12 saves on 12 shots. We'll start the second period at 5-on-5. No rollover power plays, no rollover penalties. The Islanders now buzzing around the zone to our right in their blue tops and bottoms. Blue sweaters, they're trimmed in the orange and the white. And it'll be Ilya Sorokin in the crease to our right. He is currently tearing up the blue paint there as he is onto the ice. Here come the Jets as well. Eric Comrie in net. The backup to Connor Hellebuck this season. Last year as a backup, he played a career-high 20 NHL games. Eric Comrie spent time with Buffalo, New Jersey, and Detroit as well. Ilya Sorokin, 2nd year of his 8-year, $66 million deal. That'll take him to 36 years of age. 8-year deal handed out just about a week ago to Kyle Connor of the Jets. 8-year, $96 million contract as of last Wednesday. He's coming off of a 97-point season, 7th in the NHL a year ago for Kyle Connor, who will likely get tabbed for Team USA at the upcoming Olympics. Earlier today, it was announced in Montreal, Lane Hudson has agreed to an 8-year, $70 million deal. A lot of guys getting some big-time contracts. We'll welcome Connor McDavid and the Edmonton Oilers to UBS Arena on Thursday. And not as big of a deal, certainly not what you would expect for Connor McDavid, who just signed a 12.5 AAV 2-year deal to stay at Edmonton. He wants to win. He took a major discount and trying to prove that he is willing to do whatever it takes to get his team a Stanley Cup. We'll see the Oilers for game number 4 here on Long Island in just a couple of days. Puck is dropped at center ice. Face-off one back by Bo Horvat, and away we go with the second period. Jets on top 2-0. Jonathan Drouin works back into the zone. It comes into the left wing circle for Ryan Polak. He'll curl away from Mark Scheifele. Polak with his head up takes a step to the blue line. Short pass off the far wall towards Heineman. Stanley banks it ahead. Heineman comes back and grabs it in the neutral zone. Play is offside, and then he took a shoulder check after the whistle from Logan Stanley. 27 seconds into the second period, 2-0 Edmonton out front. Islanders, you heard from J.G. Pajot heading off the ice to the locker room at the end of that first period, commented on the team's effort in the first, saying that the team got off to a decent start, played well within the first 5 minutes, but could not beat Comrie. If you were joining us right from the get-go this afternoon, the Islanders had 5 shots on goal, and all 5 of them were what you would call grade A's within the first minute of the hockey game, and Comrie stopped all 5 of them. The Islanders could not beat Comrie and then gave up the goal a little bit later on to Morgan Barrett. So they're trying to claw their way back from that right now. Scott Mayfield having trouble clearing the zone. Got held up by Jonathan Taves. Loose puck along the left wing boards. Kyle Palmieri touches it even deeper into the left corner for Scott Mayfield. He'll curl it around for Matthew Schaefer. He's double teamed. Iafallo will get on the hip of Schaefer. Steals the puck away. Runs into Anthony Duclair. And Duclair now digs at it. Pulls it free, but it comes to the Jets' defense. 1:10 gone in the second period. Islanders trailing 2-0. Touched in deep by Alex Iafallo. First year of a new 3-year extension that he signed back in April for Iafallo. Undrafted out of Minnesota Duluth. He played parts of 5 seasons with the LA Kings. Scott Mayfield stretch pass out to the red line. Touched in deep by Shabanov. Scored a goal on his NHL debut last Thursday. It was quiet in the loss to Washington on Saturday night. Barzal, right corner, sets up Duclair. One more time, pass across for Romanov. Was a little bit too far out in front of him, bottom of the left circle. So the Islanders can't do anything with that attack. Colin Miller shoots it the other way. He was hoping for Niederreiter in transition. Icing is called with 18:07 to play in the second period. On Thursday, the Islanders take on the Edmonton Oilers at 7:30 here at UBS Arena. Isles Nation group ticket information is available. Head on to NewYorkIslanders.com/groups. Good crowd here for Columbus Day and a Monday matinee here early in the season. And again, happy Canadian Thanksgiving to all the folks listening north of the border. Hope you're enjoying your holiday up there. Islanders can't keep it in off the face-off. It got through Romanov, but it was cleared down the ice by Luke Shen. Icing is called. Another quick whistle 2 minutes into the second period. Eric Comrie will look to his left for this draw. Patrick Waugh will send on Pajot, Lee, and Shabanov. Defensively, it's Romanov and D'Angelo. The Jets, who cleared it for the icing, have to keep their 5 on. Patrick Waugh can put any 5 he wants on. Face-off won by Pajot. D'Angelo right point. Deflected, they score! And J.G. Pajot in game number 800 has the Islanders' first goal. It's a 2-1 hockey game. 2:05 into the frame. Well, J.G. Pajot from deep in the offensive zone was able to take a shot from Tony D'Angelo and tip home his first goal of the year. D'Angelo right point, sent one right across the ice. Pajot tipped it in front. And so Pajot's got his first of the year. It's a 2-1 game. How about that? In his milestone afternoon, J.G. Pajot gives the Islanders a little life. He won the face-off, headed straight to the net. That face-off was won back to D'Angelo right point. D'Angelo shot towards the net, went off the blade of Pajot's stick and in blocker side on Eric Comrie. Trying to score in transition, and doing so right away are the Jets. In down the slot, a shot that went off Sorokin and in from Logan Stanley. 27-year-old defenseman was in with speed. He led the rush, and that goal comes less than a half minute after Pajot made it 2-1. It's now 3-1 Winnipeg. Stanley left circle, put it off Sorokin. And it's a 3-1 hockey game. The 11th shot of the afternoon turns into the third Winnipeg goal. So the Islanders able to cut the deficit down to 1, and then quickly it's right back to a 2-goal game. First of the season for Logan Stanley, who battled injuries a lot of last year, missed 19 games due to a knee injury that he suffered in September during the preseason. He's back healthy, and he's got his first of the year. Here's Romanov. Islanders looking for another quick answer. Turning his Heineman above the right circle. This time a stick save by the goaltender Comrie. And it comes into the left corner with 17:15 to play in the second. 3 goals on 11 shots for the Jets. 1 goal on 13 for the Islanders. Connor comes in. Poked off his stick by Romanov. Heineman's going to try to set up Horvat in transition down the right side. He's wedged off the puck by a back-checking Dylan DeMello. And then Scheifele takes a bump on the near side for Pelech, but got the puck out. Went straight to Scott Mayfield. Mayfield advances it. Pelech in. Bouncing puck into the right wing corner. Grabbed off the wall by Smithtown's own Kyle Palmieri. Angles it to the point. Mayfield across. Pelech with a shot blocked by Velarde's stick and out of play. 16:38 to go in the second period. Those goals coming 14 seconds apart between J.G. Pajot's first of the year that made it 2-1, and then Logan Stanley's answer that made it 3-1. 14 seconds is all that it took, and the Islanders had something to build off, and then the energy quickly went away. Matt Barzal, left wing circle, will take a face-off in the offensive zone. He's between Palmieri and Duclair this afternoon. This face-off won by Jonathan Toews, one of the best to ever do it. Matt Barzal is moving back to center this year, focused on face-offs. He's been pretty good so far this year. Lost that one to Toews, but now a whistle, and it's icing on the Islanders. Face-off coming down to our right. And it'll be a face-off to the right of Sorokin in the Islanders zone. The draw will come with Barzal at the dot yet again. Pelech, Palmieri, Duclair all in the slot. And over on the far side of the ice is Scott Mayfield. Face-off won by Jonathan Toews yet again. Scott Mayfield will lock down on the backside of Neil Pionk. Pulls the puck free. It's now touched ahead by Pelech. On for Matt Barzal in the first 4 minutes still of the second period. Barzal in quickly. Throws on the brakes left side, out high. Pelech one-timer. He got every bit of it. And he fired it off the back wall. It was wide left by a foot from Adam Pelech. He's looking to snap that goal-scoring drought. Yeah, he's a stay-home defenseman, but it's been 90 games since his last goal. And trying to erase that note. Oh, Butch Goring's been all over him for that. That goal is drowning back to last year. Pelech had a drive straight away there that put a lot of mustard on, but it went wide left. Islanders have the puck again in their own zone, and here's Schaefer from Pollock. Patrick Waz mixed up the deep pairings, by the way. He's got Schaefer playing with Pollock now. Pelech and Mayfield are D partners. This is an in-game adjustment. The first time this season we've seen these pairings. And a shot by Shabanov out high, deflects into the far corner, grabbed by Pajot. He'll retrieve it and feed Schaefer at the right point. Cross-ice pass. Pollock left side, back across, flubbing it from the right circle was Pajot. Reached back for a snapshot, and he flubbed it as he looked for his second of the period. Islanders get back to it behind their own net. It's Pollock one step ahead of Niederreiter. Leaves it for Shabanov in transition. Shabanov for Lee, and then Schaefer gets taken to the glass by Miller. Puck slides up the right wing, kept in by Cizikas. He'll reverse it behind the net. Only Jets are there, and the white sweaters down to my left. And so it's Miller with a short lead pass on the mark for Morrissey. Jets make changes. Shen will shoot it in from the right side. 14:40 to go in the second period. It's a 3-1 Jets lead. Goal for J.G. Pajot here in the second period. Answered 14 seconds later by Logan Stanley. Niederreiter, Barron have the other goals today for the Jets. Here's Cizikas. Lead pass hoping for Holmstrom. Didn't quite connect it. But the Islanders are back on it. Through center, they'll build an attack. Romanov in, wires one high and wide. Yeah, he took a shot from above the left wing circle. It hit the high glass, stayed in. Now a wall battle in the right wing corner. It's Holmstrom who backhands it behind the Jets cage. Jets turn it over. Pellick to the middle. Turning shot. Holmstrom didn't miss by much as he opened up in the left wing circle. Kept in right point by Pollock. His pass intercepted. It's Kyle Connor up ice. Connor sidesteps Pellick to Velarde. Back towards Connor. He was wrapped up by Pellick. That pass did not connect thanks to Adam Pellick's efforts out in front of Ilya Sorokin. 13:40 to go in the second period. Islanders trailing 3-1. Here comes Emil Heineman. Dumps it in. Takes a hip check by DeMello. DeMello locks up Heineman. That allows some room for the Jets' other defenseman to work on the far side of the ice. That's Josh Morrissey. Jets get it in deep. And Mayfield goes back after it to cancel out Iafallo. Mayfield checks Iafallo to the near glass. Helped out by Heineman as well. Puck's going to skip out through center. Now in down the Jets' left wing of their zone. Sent around the boards by DeMello. Morrissey can't clear. Good keep there by Mayfield. Falling down behind him was Chibrikov. Mayfield to the slot. And that one deflects up the left wing. Iafallo, who was flat-footed, turns, gets going. Cross-ice pass for Morrissey. He tried to find Chibrikov in the slot. That pass didn't work out. All of a sudden, we're down to under 13 minutes to go in the period. Stretch pass here. Drouin off the bench. Cuts to the middle, and a shot missed the net wide, left by less than a foot. Drouin with speed off the bench. Caught the stretch pass from the Islanders zone. And he muscled his way to the front of the net. Good strong move, but he couldn't capitalize on the forehand. Here's Barzell, left wing from the circle. Wrist shot blocked down. Comrie, no rebound. 12:28 to go in the the second period. It's a 3-1 Jets lead. We're going to keep it right here. We're not going to go to commercial because we have a special guest here in our booth. We've got young Bay Melnick joining us, who has performed a couple of times already this afternoon. I know you've got your guitar. What are you doing out here, Bay?
I'm playing.
You're playing?
Yeah.
What kind of guitar is this?
This is a PRS DGT. Yeah.
Okay. And that is something that I cannot imagine is easy to play, but I know you've been tearing it up for these fans at UBS Arena. Every time I look down, these fans are on their feet because of you and this instrument. How long have you been playing?
I've been playing for 6 years.
6 years, okay. Yes. And how old are you?
10.
10, so that's more than half your life. That's a lot. How did you get into this?
Well, I was obsessed with this, with Steve Miller's Rockin' Me Baby.
Okay.
And I actually, and I wanted to know how to play it on guitar, so I asked my parents for lessons, and it's been a journey ever since.
It has been. I know you've been featured on ABC News Live, Good Day New York as well.
Yep.
Do you get nervous at all? Do you have any nerves? Were you nervous today? You say no?
No, not really, but it's very fun to do this.
It is. I imagine so. You're wearing an Islanders jersey here in our booth. I know you're from Nassau County. Queens. You're from Queens. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me get that straight. Get my facts in line here. Did you grow up an Islanders fan?
Yeah.
Okay.
I came here once when I was like 6 to a hockey game, and I think they won.
Okay.
But I can't remember.
Who are your favorite players?
The 18-year-old.
Matthew Schaefer.
Yeah.
It's a very popular answer, yeah. You guys look like you're about the same age.
A
you
little
look
taller.
Yeah. I mean, he's still a young kid. You know, he said the other day, I think his dad was telling us that fans ask him all the time, like, what do you like? What's he like to do? What are his hobbies? And he's like, well, he likes to eat Skittles. Like, he's just an ordinary kid. Like, is that something that resonates with you? You're just a regular kid who just can shred on this guitar here?
Yeah, I play soccer.
Soccer, okay.
Yeah, I play soccer. I hang out with my friends. I do Rubik's Cube.
Rubik's Cube, okay.
But I'm not that fast.
So you're smart.
I don't want to toot my own horn, but...
If fans want to check you out, where can they go? How can they find your action?
On Instagram, you can find me at The Only Bay.
The Only Bay on Instagram.
Yeah.
Okay. So fans listening out there, The Only Bay, check that out, and you see your work on the guitar. You're going to perform later on today too, right? You're not done?
No, I'm not done.
Okay.
One more.
One more. And when is that? Second intermission? Second intermission. Okay, so we're live here on the radio, but also inside UBS Arena. Fans are listening here, so the fans who are here and listening to our radio broadcast in-house, they know now to check out you. Second intermission.
Yay.
You're going to be tearing it up.
Boom.
Bay, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Awesome to meet you. Thanks so much. Islanders down 3-1 here in the second as we're back underway with the face-off in the Isles zone. Ilya Sorokin looking to his right, and a couple of guys get tangled up in the left wing corner. Shabanov and Pearson, and a penalty has been called. And I believe this is on the Jets. Looks like Logan Stanley. Should be an Islanders power play, which will be their third of the afternoon. A face-off in the Isles zone, got tangled up in the left wing corner.
Winnipeg, number 64, minor penalty. Trip.
It's a trip on Logan Stanley. So the Islanders will have their third crack at a power play. So 0 for 2 so far. A good opportunity here for the Islanders to get this deficit back to within one, which they did earlier in this period, which was quickly canceled out. Face-off won by the Jets. That's Nemesnikov, and it's cleared off the glass and down by Winnipeg. The Islanders are going to start this power play with Drouin, Barzal, Horvat. Also, Palmieri and Matthew Schaefer is taking Tony DeAngelo's spot up high on this first unit. So Matthew Schaefer is quarterbacking the power play right now. This is the situation that he scored his first NHL goal in on Saturday night. Let's see if he can get his second one. He's making a 3-game point streak. Here's Schaefer, right point. Pulls the puck out of a pile, sends it across to Barzal, left wing. He backpedals to the goal line extended. Cuts back. Schaefer skate to stick. Deep slot with a pass on for Horvat. Barzal snaps one wide. He had a lot on that one going towards the glove side of Comrie. Kept in right point. Schaefer, nice move to get around Barron. Sets up Palmieri. Puck this way. And Barzal couldn't grab it as it came to the left circle. A little bit too far out of his reach. 11 minutes to go in the second period. 1 minute left on the Islanders' power play. Their third of the afternoon. Logan Stanley is in the box for tripping. The Jets clear it out. Knifed down at the red line by Barzal. Slows to a snail's pace, then turns away from an oncoming Kyle Connor. Barzal now eludes him, steps on the gas, in over the line, trips to the right wing, leaves it for Schaefer. This way, Horvat. Horvat looks back door, and fanning on a one-timer was Jonathan Drouin. Gets it back off the wall. Schaefer, Drouin, right circle. Schaefer steps, shoots. Palmieri tipped it off Comrie and wide. 10.5 to go in the second. Horvat out high to the right circle. Drouin, Schaefer shoots, and it's snared down by Comrie with 17 left on the power play. Good work there by the first unit, but they cannot cash in. And so the second unit will take the ice. That's Anders Lee, Max Shabanov, centered by J.G. Pajot. Tony DeAngelo and Alex Romanov are back at the blue line. So Patrick Wire with 17 seconds to go on the man advantage will send down 2D. Pajot's at the dot. Right circle face-off. Clean win back. DeAngelo over this way to Romanov. Left side. DeAngelo tries the right wing. And then his stick, the stick of Shabanov breaks in half. Clearing attempts deflected out of play with 10:10 to go in the period. 7 seconds to go on Stanley. And that power play for tripping. A good setup to the right circle for Max Shabanov, but his stick blew up on him as he tried to let go of a one-timer. 3-1 Jets. 7 seconds left on the Islanders' power play. Shots favoring the Islanders 19-12 in this hockey game. Much like the first period, they had a strong start to the second. Did get a goal. J.G. Pajot 2:05 in, but it was canceled out by Stanley 14 seconds later. Face-off won by Anders Lee, who took over at the dot. Back to DeAngelo. Shabanov back to DeAngelo, left point. Here comes Stanley out of the box. A shot in on goal, tipped down. Comrie nudges it to the left corner. Dug out of a pile by Pajot. Rims it around to the right side. Stepping in is DeAngelo, and as he pinches in, Shabanov wisely watches his spot out high. Now it's a four-man long jam in the far corner. Anders Lee, Logan Stanley butt heads. Pajot gets there as well. Now the Jets have a little room. They'll break it out. Through center, it's DeMello, right wing. Floats one off the high glass. Jumps off the shelving far side. Hopped away from Pajot. Now we'll get a whistle, and it's too many men on the ice. 9:31 to play in the second period.
Winnipeg, bench minor, too many players on the ice.
Too many men on the ice against Winnipeg. A bench minor. 4 power plays now in the hockey game. The fourth one coming up for the New York Islanders when we return Isles down 3-1. This is New York Islanders hockey on the Islanders Radio Network.
Coyote Promotions supports this New York Islanders live game broadcast on WRHU.
The New York Army National Guard pays you up to 100% of your college tuition while you serve your community part-time. Learn more at nationalguard.com. Sponsored by the New York Army National Guard, aired by the New York State Broadcasters Association and this station.
New York Lottery underwrites a part of this New York Islanders live game broadcast on Radio Hofstra University.
This is your home for New York Islanders live game broadcasts. WRHU FM Hempstead, Radio Hofstra University.
New York Islanders hockey is underwritten by the NHL on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Hey, I'm forward Bo Horvat, and you're tuned in to New York Islanders hockey.
9.5 to go in the second period this afternoon on Long Island. Alan Fearing with you from UBS Arena as the Islanders take on the Winnipeg Jets. Middle game of a 3-game homestand. We'll wrap it up Thursday against the Edmonton Oilers. The Islanders down right now 3-1. They do have a power play that's getting ready to start thanks to a bench minor against the Jets for too many men on the ice. You don't see that a lot from the Winnipeg Jets. They are a detailed team. Their head coach, Scott Arniel, doesn't get things mixed up with his players too often. Looked like Morgan Barron jumped over the wall a little early. And the Islanders now with their fourth power play, 0 for 3 so far. Chance here with Horvat at the dot left circle. Schaefer back at the blue line. Palmieri, Barzal, Drouin joined them. Face off though won by the Jets. Mark Scheifele cleared all the way down. The Islanders will have to take it from behind their own net as Sorokin came out to stop it. Left it for Schaefer. Number 1 overall pick. Sends it out to the red line for Palmieri. They'll drop it off. Here's Matt Barzal. Cruises through center. He weaves in. Finds Horvat left side. Out to the point, Schaefer as the Islanders set up on the power play. 9 minutes to go in the period. 90 seconds left on the man advantage. Here's Jonathan Drouin. Pulls back. Sets up Schaefer. Now this way, Barzal to the front, had Palmieri. He was double-teamed. Pionk and DeMello were on him. A Russian transition shorthanded for Scheifele. Throws it to the net. Sorokin made a stick save. Goes back behind. Trying to come onto it was Barron. DeMello right point. Shot kicked away. Rebounds loose and Sorokin got across. Big save there for Ilya Sorokin. Moved left to right. He left the rebound on the initial shot, but made good work of that rebound chance. Still 3-1. Winnipeg leads it. Jets do have a couple of shorthanded goals on the year as Barzal unloads a one-timer. Deflected away from the net by a reaching stick from Thompson. And here's Barzal. Sets up Horvat. His shot from the far circle misses. Goes off the glass and down. The Jets are the only team in the NHL, as a matter of fact, with 2 shorthanded goals so far. Got one from Kyle Connor, the other from Morgan Barron. Both are staples of this kill. Connor's on the ice right now. In fact, he'll steal it away at the right point. Jets clear. And the power play's down to 15 seconds. It's Nino Niederreiter serving, the bench minor for too many men on the Winnipeg side. Now we're to single digits. It's brought ahead by Duclair. He'll leave it for Schaefer at the red line. Schaefer shoots it deep, heads to the bench. Out of the box comes Niederreiter. Look out, here a takeaway. Romanov gave it up, so it's a break for Niederreiter. Out of the box, he's in, delays on the backhand, left it for a teammate, and they score. Pearson followed up the try from Niederreiter. It's Tanner Pearson to make it 4-1. Just after the penalty ended, Tanner Pearson's first goal as a Winnipeg Jet. First goal of the season. It's a 4-1 game with 7:21 to play in the period. Well, Pearson will get rewarded for the goal after really doing the work on Alex Romanov. The Islanders knew their power play was ending and that Niederreiter was coming out of the box. The puck came up to the left point in Jets ice, and Romanov had it there. Romanov had to be careful, but Tanner Pearson stole it away, and he did so just as Niederreiter was exiting, so it turned into an odd-man rush, and really at one point a 2-on-0 for the Jets. Niederreiter skated straight at Sorokin, delayed and delayed and delayed, waited him out. In fact, waited too long because he slid below the goal line, but he was able to backhand the puck in front. Tanner Pearson was trailing the play, and Tanner Pearson with a slam dunk, no doubter. The net was 95% open, and he scores his first goal as a Winnipeg Jet. It's a 4-1 hockey game in favor of the visitors. An even strength goal. Not shorthanded. That penalty, of course, had just ended because Niederreiter came out of the box and he was the one to set it up. 6:45 to go in the second period. And just like Saturday night, the Islanders find themselves down in a 4-1 game. It was 4-0 at one point against the Capitals on Saturday. They came back, had the last 2 goals of the game to make it 4-2. There's Simon Holmstrom, settles the puck in the neutral zone, takes it wide left. Kept to the perimeter by Miller. Pass out to the slot, eludes the defense, comes all the way down. The Islanders, Jets will both swap personnel. Islanders changing everyone up except for the D-men. Mayfield here from Schaefer. Stretch pass looking for Lee. He's tied up by Pionk. The puck will slide into the Jet zone. Icing waved off. Tanner Pearson, they announced him as the most recent goal scorer. That goal for Tanner Pearson, first of the year, coming at 12:39 of the second period, assisted by Nino Niederreiter, and of course no secondary assist. 4-1 Jets. Here's Max Shabanov near his own blue line, steps on the gas, moves through center with speed, and then had it stripped away. Was looking for Pajot. That's intercepted by Nikita Chibrikov. Connor in the other way, right circle, cross-ice pass, too far out in front of Stanley. Islanders take it away, and it's Pajot on for Lee. Lee sidesteps Chibrikov. Mentioned earlier out of Russia. Former teammate with Max Siplikov in the KHL is Chibrikov. As Drouin sets up, Heineman, he scores! Right circle one-timer off the bar and in for Emil Heineman. His first as an Islander, and it's a 4-2 hockey game. Welcome to Long Island, Emil Heineman. Takes the setup from Jonathan Drouin, who will get his second point of the year in 2 games. This is a bouncing puck that Drouin settled skate to stick above the right wing hash marks. Shuffled the pass over for Heineman, and he didn't have a lot of an angle to work with, but he blows it off the bar and in above the right shoulder of Comrie for his first as an Isle. Heineman put up 10 goals in 62 games with the Habs last year. Matthew Darche was not shy over the offseason about saying that he was a target and a big reason that they wanted him and nobody else as part of that deal for Noah Dobson at the NHL draft. Of course, Dobson going to the Canadiens as the staple of that deal. Here come the Islanders back in. Horvat's pass across deflects off the high glass after it hit the stick of Nyquist. Puck up into the air, caught and held by Comrie as Heineman and Morrissey get tangled up outside of the blue paint. 4:39 to play in the second. It's a 4-2 Jets lead. Both Islanders' goals have come in this period, though. The latest, Emil Heineman, 23-year-old. His first goal, his first point as an Islander, and it makes it a 2-goal hockey game this afternoon. Under 5 to go in the second. You're listening to New York Islanders hockey on the Islanders Radio Network.
New York Islander game broadcasts are supported in part by MSG Plus and MSG.com.
This is your New York Islanders Radio Network. Produced and distributed by WRHU FM Hempstead, Radio Hofstra University.
New York Lottery underwrites a part of this New York Islanders live game broadcast on Radio Hofstra University.
The numbers are
The numbers are in. Once again, WRHU is New York's number one non-commercial radio station. Thank you, New York, for your support.
88.7 WRHU, Radio Hofstra University.
GEHA Federal Health Plan supports this New York Islanders live game broadcast on Radio Hofstra University.
Hey, I'm defenseman Scott Mayfield, and you're tuned into New York Islanders hockey.
.439 to go in the second period. Today on Long Island, 4-2 Jets with the lead. Morgan Barron, Nino Niederreiter, Logan Stanley, Tanner Pearson have all scored for the Jets. Islanders goals coming in this period from J.G. Pajot and most recently Emil Heineman. Winnipeg will play in Philly on Thursday to wrap up a brief two-game road trip out east. It's funny, where Winnipeg is geographically, they are kind of right in the middle of North America, so they do a lot of just one or two game, maybe three-game trips out east. They'll come back home, they'll play one, maybe they'll play two or three. They'll go to the West Coast, they'll bounce back to the middle of the continent, they'll come back to the east. They're always moving around, and the Islanders have these long West Coast trips. They've got 2 7-game trips coming up this season, but they'll take a couple of longer trips out west. Winnipeg just always seems to be bouncing around. Doesn't seem to hurt their cause. Their record last year, best in the NHL in the regular season, 56 wins, 116 points. President's Trophy winners. Had a tough go of it in the playoffs. Didn't get as far as they wanted. Trying to make amends this year. They're 1-1 on the season. As Romanov will be given a little room by DeMello, and then he'll close in at the half wall left side. Shoots it in behind the net. On the right side, it's moved away from Heineman by Barron into Isles ice. D'Angelo is on it for the Islanders with under 4 minutes to go in the second period. There's Romano from the red line. He'll turn and fire it deep. Curls around the boards to the right wing half wall. Matt Barzal gets together there with DeMello. Barzal trying to dig it free. Now Anthony Duclair gets his nose involved too. 4, 5 skaters tied up around the puck. And it's brought free to the middle of the zone in Winnipeg ice. Shen out to the blue line. Taken there by Lee, who touches it on for Schaefer. Schaefer for Pajot, right wing. He's given a rough ride by Stanley. And it comes back behind the net. Off the outside of the cage with a turning shot. That was a chance from Pajot. He's got Anders Lee there too. Pajot tripped up behind the net. Fans wanting a call they won't get. Up the left wing it comes, but didn't have enough pace behind it, so it never made it to Schaefer waiting at the left point, and instead intercepted by Taves. Jonathan Taves dumps it behind the Islanders' cage. Under 3 to go in the second period. It's a 4-2 Jets lead. Velarde takes a high hit from Mayfield. Mayfield dislodges the puck. And then it's grabbed through the trapezoid by Connor. Kyle Connor to the blue line. Pionk's shot caught the high glass. Neil Pionk in the first year of a new 6-year contract. He signed back in April. Missed 13 games with a leg injury a year ago. He came against his former team, the Rangers. Tough angle shot by Pionk off the high glass. Skips out to the point. Kyle Connor takes a cross-ice feed from Morrissey. Turns, shot. It hit a jet out up high. And also a penalty has been called against the Islanders. It'll be a cross-check. Velarde found himself on the ice. That's because he took a Scott Mayfield cross-check. Logan Stanley wants a piece of Mayfield. The officials get in the middle of it. Scott Mayfield is being escorted to the penalty box. For the first time in this period, third time in the hockey.
Penalty number 24, 2 minutes for cross-checking.
The Islanders will be shorthanded, cross-checking on Mayfield. It was a shot from distance by Pionk that was headed towards Mayfield. And in the process, Mayfield cross-checked Velarde down to the ice. Pajot was in the area too. But it was Scott Mayfield who got his stick up into the midsection on the backside of Velarde. Patrick Waugh very unhappy on the Islanders bench, but he'll have to send out his 4 killers. And a face-off coming up to the right of Ilya Sorokin. It's Bo Horvat at the dot. Pelech and Palmieri to his left. Ryan Pollock over to the right-hand side of Horvat. Horvat and Taves at the circle. Horvat wins it neatly back. Adam Pellick's going to grab it and wrist it all the way down. Jonathan Taves, big part of this Jets power play, 37 years of age. Three-time Cup champion, former Conn Smythe winner, former Selke winner, four-time All-Star. Was named Blackhawks captain initially when he was just 20 years of age. What a career for Jonathan Taves, who's back after illness cost him 2 full NHL seasons. Never thought he would get back into an NHL game, but here he is with his hometown Jets team, signing a 1-year deal back in June. Jets have it deep on the power play as they set up their third power play of the day. 1 for 2 so far. Bottom of the right circle, and it's Gus Nyquist to the middle. It filters through everyone. Niederreiter and Taves are out front of the net. Here's Vlad Nemesnikov in down the left wing. Slows, sends it across the crease. Backdoor, Nyquist grabs it. Wrist shot, fought off by Sorokin. Hit him right in the chest. He's able to direct it to the left corner. Thrown back in front by Nemesnikov. Reaching out to poke it to the blue line Pellick, but he couldn't clear. And it's Nyquist back in behind the net. Out high, Pionk steps, shoots, saves, Sorokin rebounds there, and it winds up outside of the crease and back behind the net. Pellick whacks it down out of midair. It comes around to the right wing corner. Kyle Palmieri will clear with 1 minute to go in the period. 35 seconds left on the Mayfield penalty. Mayfield in the box for cross-checking. 49 seconds to go in the period with the Jets having to control it and bring it all the way down. 190 feet in transition, left to right. Come the Jets here in the second period. And over the line, it's Scheifele. He'll leave it for Velarde. Kyle Connor goes into the right wing corner for a battle. Puck squirts out front. Sorokin makes one pad save on a chance in time from Scheifele. And here's Connor. Wrist shot blocked down by Holmstrom's reaching stick. Scheifele again to the left wing. Now out high. Morrissey comes this way, right wing. Connor downhill. Shot save. Sorokin. It got in behind him. And he gets the whistle as he leans onto his backside. Pile up in the crease. And a quick whistle from referee Michael Markovic with 20 seconds left in the period. That one was tipped in on Sorokin by Gabe Velarde. Throwing his stick down and holding it right at the goal line was Romanov, just in case that puck leaked in behind Sorokin. Sorokin made the initial save, could feel it, knew he did not have it entirely, so he fell onto his back and he got the whistle. And as we take a look at a replay here in our booth, that one actually hit the post on the shot from the right side that was tipped by Velarde out front. It hit the post and then came in behind Sorokin. He fell on top of it. From this angle, it looked like Sorokin may have knocked it down with the knob of the stick, but was even closer than initially expected. Stays out, though. It's still 4-2 Jets. Power play has ended. Mayfield back on. Left side, wrist shot doesn't go. And it comes up into the air. Casey Zizekas swinging a miss, trying to clear. Kyle Connor in the right wing corner, takes to the front of the net. Whiffing at a shot was Scheifele. And now the Jets are going to be called for a penalty as Matthew Schaefer got hit up in the face. High stick on Schaefer. He's down, checking for blood. 4.1 seconds to go in the period. Schaefer back to his feet. And a resounding set of boos here rained down from the seats at UBS Arena. Now a stick got Schaefer up high. The officials are meeting to see if maybe this was on a follow-through or if this was maybe an Islander stick that caught Schaefer and not a Jets stick. All four officials are huddled up near the off-ice officials in the penalty boxes. Getting a couple of replays here in our booth. What they're looking at here is, did Matthew Schaefer take a stick to the face on a follow-through, which is okay, or was it not a follow-through, which would be a penalty? The other thing I was thinking, Scott Mayfield was in the area. I thought maybe they were meeting to see if maybe it was Scott Mayfield's stick that caught his teammate. Or Jonathan Drouin, excuse me. But no, they're, again, we're seeing some replays here. It is, no doubt, it is Scheifele's stick. Here's the call.
55, minor penalty. High stick.
There you go. So it's a minor penalty, and it's on Mark Scheifele. There is no question at all when we got a second look at it that it was Mark Scheifele's stick. It was actually Jonathan Drouin that was also in the area, not Mayfield. But it's a penalty on Mark Scheifele. It's a 2-minute power play. They did not find any blood on the 18-year-old Matthew Schaefer, who went to the bench, sprayed some water from a water bottle on his face, and wouldn't you know it, he's out here to start the power play. He has taken the quarterback spot in this top unit from Tony DeAngelo. Face-off won by Horvat. It's only 4 seconds left in the period, and as Schaefer settles it, he was unsure of how much time was left and didn't pull the trigger on a shot, and so he holds on to it as the horn sounds. But the Islanders will have 1 minute and 56 seconds of power play time to begin the third, and an opportunity to get back to within one. Again, Schaefer drawing that high stick on Scheifele. Scheifele comes out of the box here and towards the tunnel. Still having words for the officials. So 40 minutes in the books here inside UBS Arena. The Islanders get a couple of goals in that second period. They trail 4-2. We'll head downstairs outside of the Islanders dressing room where Tony DeAngelo kind enough to stop by and join us. Tony, some good things there in the second period. Both of the Islanders goals coming there in that middle frame. We've seen this be a resilient group. What needs to change in the third?
Yeah, I mean, we had two pretty good periods actually, but we're finding a way to give them some goals and leaving Roki out to dry. So it's just got to fix that.
The power play, it's seen a lot of good so far today. Just haven't been able to cash in. What needs to be a little different on the man advantage, or have you been happy with it?
No different, if you ask me, to be honest. It's pretty good. I mean, we're getting the grade A chances. Comrie's playing really well. Haven't been able to figure them out yet, but we're getting there. Maybe a little bit more net traffic. Maybe somebody crashing down, trying to get the rebound there, outnumber them a little bit. But as far as the movement, it's been really good.
Yeah, that's a good point. Comrie has had a great game. What's the scouting report there? What exactly needs to happen on him?
I don't know what it is, but I'd like to figure it out by this period, to be honest with you.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks so much, Tony.
Thanks, guys.
It's Tony DeAngelo live outside of the Islanders' room. He and his group looking for a come-from-behind win. A third period comeback here this afternoon. Islanders will start the third period on a power play, but they trail 4-2 after 40 minutes. Well, we've got the second intermission report coming up. We will take a look back at Casey Cizikas' career in a feature that we call In His Own Words. Casey Cizikas, that's up next. We'll also have an in-game sports update and get you ready for the third period in today's matinee. It's 4-2 Winnipeg after 40. This is Islanders hockey on the New York Islanders Radio Network.
UBS Arena supports this New York Islanders live game broadcast on Radio Hofstra University.
New York Islanders social media. Instagram at NY Islanders. TikTok at NY Islanders. X at NY Islanders. Facebook, New York Islanders. YouTube at NY_Islanders. LinkedIn, New York Islanders. New York Islanders social media for the world's greatest fans.
Daily Pay underwrites a part of this New York Islanders live game broadcast on WRHU Radio Hofstra University.
This is your home for New York Islanders live game broadcasts. WRHU FM Hempstead, Radio Hofstra University.
New York Islanders hockey is underwritten by the NHL on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
The numbers are in. Once again, WRHU is New York's number one non-commercial radio station. Thank you, New York, for your support.
88.7 WRHU, Radio Hofstra University.
Acrisure underwrites a part of this New York Islanders live game broadcast on WRHU Radio Hofstra University.
Coyote Promotions supports this New York Islanders live game broadcast on WRHU.
Hey, Islander fans. I'm Dr. Ira Nash, host of Well Said, a podcast and radio show dedicated to informing and educating the public about important health and wellness topics so you can live your best life. For over 5 years and over 300 episodes, Well Said has featured in-depth discussions with experts about all sorts of things, from heart disease to autism, from telehealth to breast cancer, obesity, surprise billing, you name it, we've talked about it. Well Said is available as a podcast wherever you get your podcasts. You can also hear us Mondays at 4 p.m. on WRHU 88.7 FM. Let's go, Islanders!
New York Islander game broadcasts are supported in part by MSG Plus and MSG.com.
The New York Army National Guard pays you up to 100% of your college tuition while you serve your community part-time. Learn more at nationalguard.com. Sponsored by the New York Army National Guard, aired by the New York State Broadcasters Association and this station.
Hey, I'm Anders Lee, and you're tuned in to New York Islanders hockey.
Anders Lee and the New York Islanders down 2 after 2. It's a 4-2 game. Winnipeg with the lead. They have not trailed today. And now, unfortunately, for the third straight game to start the season, the Islanders have allowed 4 goals. And they're going to try to keep it at that here in this one, try to claw back into it. The Islanders will have a power play to start the third period. 1 minute and 56 seconds remaining on Mark Scheifele's high stick. That was called late there in the second period. So still time. And so good news, the Islanders have an opportunity here to get back into this one and potentially win it and come from behind fashion. Last year they did have 5 wins when they trailed after 2 periods of play. Well, we've talked a lot this afternoon about the milestones between J.G. Pageau and Casey Cizikas. For Casey Cizikas playing in his 900th NHL game today. We spoke with Patrick Waugh yesterday after practice, asked about Casey Cizikas, and he said, look, this guy has been the heart and soul of this team, not only so far this year, but he's been that way now for 15 seasons as a New York Islander.
Across and in comes Cizikas.
Every single night, every single shift that, I tried to mimic, that worked out for us as a group, as a line, and, we kind of fed off of each other because of that.
Is there another former teammate or a former coach or anyone down the line that you want to credit for all this longevity you've had?
Yeah, there's, the crazy thing was that between the age of 9 and 20, I only had 2 coaches. My first coach in minor hockey, his name was Cosmo Nardoni. He means the world to me. Unfortunately, he's not with us anymore, but he was amazing. He was one of a kind person, and the way he treated us as kids, the way that he pushed us as kids as well. And then going into junior, I had Dave Cameron, and the way that he saw the game, the way that he coached the game, he turned me into almost a two-way player. He didn't necessarily, rely on offense as much. He was very defensive minded, and he brought that aspect that I necessarily didn't have as a kid growing up, and evidently turned into a big part of my career and what I needed to accomplish turning pro. So that was huge.
Today, Cizikas plays in his 900th game for the Blue and Orange, and after all this time here, the Canadian kid feels right at home in Elmont.
It's meant everything. Whether it's people on the street, people in the stores, our kids' teachers, our kids' coaches that whatever sport they're playing, every single person from Long Island has been such a huge part of our family, and they don't even know it. And that's the biggest thing. It's a family here. It doesn't matter what part of Long Island you're from. You're part of a family, and that's something special.
For you. Stuff, Connor, and we echo that. Congratulations to Casey Cizikas, one of the best human beings you will ever meet. Certainly a great hockey player as well, and great to see his family really soaking in the lifestyle here on Long Island, and his kids getting into hockey. You heard from Casey there talking about his oldest son who is playing on Long Island, and I was joking with him the other day too. I said, is he taking after you? Is he going to be the same type of player? And he goes, oh yeah, but he's going to be way more vicious than I even am, which is hard to believe. But congratulations, 900 NHL games for Casey Cizikas. That ties Bobby Nystrom for 5th place in New York Islanders team history. Islanders looking for a comeback today. They're down 4-2 after 2 periods. Both goals for the Islanders came in that middle frame, and the first one from J.G. Pageau in his 800th NHL game. That was 2:05 in, assisted by Tony DeAngelo. Pajot won a face-off right circle to D'Angelo, and a shot at the net was deflected by the blade of Pajot's stick and in, up and over the shoulder of Eric Comrie, who Tony D'Angelo told us there right at the start of this intermission, it's been tough to beat Comrie. He's had a whale of a game, and so far today, 22 saves on 24 shots for Comrie. It's tough sometimes to be a backup. You don't get a lot of action. Scott Arniel said right at the start of the season that his plan was to try to get Eric Comrie at least one game before Winnipeg's back-to-back coming up later on this month. He didn't want to ride Connor Hellebuck in all of those games, and so today is the day that he puts Comrie in, and Comrie's been excellent. For Patrick Waugh and the New York Islanders, sort of a similar thing. Their first set of back-to-backs is coming up at the end of this month, too, and so you wonder, will Ilya Sorokin play 7 straight, and then an 8th before the second game in a row coming up between Carolina and D.C., October the 30th and 31st, or will he get David Riddick a game somewhere in there early and give Sorokin a break? Less to give Sorokin a break, I think, and more to get Riddick some action before they absolutely need him in those back-to-back situations. But so far, it's been Ilya Sorokin in net for each of the first 3 starts. And on the other side, again, Comrie coming in for his season debut. Connor Hellebuck is his backup today. Islanders down 4-2 at the break. More from UBS Arena in a moment. First, though, let's flash over to our Hofstra University WRHU studios. Here's an in-game sports update.
Live from our Hofstra studios, I'm Billy Nafash. There are 9 other games on the NHL slate throughout this Columbus Day, and we'll start in the city named after him with the Blue Jackets hosting the Devils. Freshly extended New Jersey defenseman Luke Hughes seeks to become the first defenseman this century to record multiple assists in their first 3 games of a season. Puck drop is set for 7 p.m. Also at 7 p.m., the Flyers host the reigning back-to-back champs in the Panthers in Philly's home opener. Florida looks to become the second defending Cup winner in the last 3 years to open the season with 4 straight wins. The winless Sabres trailed the Avalanche 3-1 in the third in Buffalo. Early in the first, Nathan MacKinnon scored his 4th goal in 4 games this season.
Backing up in the neutral zone. Pages in. Drops it off from MacKinnon. A lot of ice out there now. MacKinnon shoots and scores! Nathan MacKinnon!
Sound courtesy of Altitude Sports. The unbeaten Bruins trail 4-3 to the winless Lightning at the start of the third in Massachusetts. Boston looks to open the season with 4 straight wins for the 8th time in franchise history, though Anthony Cirelli's 2 first-period goals are proving to be a challenge.
And here's a chance for Gage Gonzalez. Loose puck left side. Centers it back across the grain. In front, they score! What a start for the Lightning. A tap in by Anthony Cirelli. 1 minute 9 seconds into the game. And it's 1-0 Tampa Bay.
Sound courtesy of Scripps Sports. It's Canadian Thanksgiving and there are 3 games up north. Starting with the Predators leading the Senators 1-0 late in the second in the Canadian capital. The Sens have won 5 straight home openers. The Maple Leafs trail the Red Wings 1-0 in an original 6 showdown in Toronto. The Leafs are playing on the holiday for the first time in 8 years. Dylan Larkin's power play goal is the lone tally in the contest. The Blues head to Vancouver to clash with the Canucks. St. Louis forward Robert Thomas needs 2 points to reach 400 in his career, and he would become the second fastest player in franchise history to do so. Puck drop is set for 7:30. Kings are Wild is the game in Minnesota tonight. Wild forwards Matt Boldy and newly enriched Kirill Kaprizov are each looking to record 3 points for the 3rd straight game to open their season. Puck drop between LA and Minnesota is set for 8 p.m. The league's nightcap features the Blackhawks hosting the Mammoth at 8:30. Chicago is still looking for their first win of the season. The Islanders trail the visiting Jets 4-2 after 2 periods of play. From our WRHU Hofstra studios, I'm Billy Nafash. Let's send it back to Alan Fearing for 3rd period Islanders radio coverage.
Awesome stuff, Billy. Thanks so much from the studio here on Long Island in UBS Arena. It's a 4-2 lead for the Jets. Islanders looking for a 3rd period comeback. By the way, we have confirmed with Winnipeg Jets PR that Cole Koepke will not return. He suffered a lower body injury in that 2nd period. So Cole Koepke is out the rest of the way, and Winnipeg's starting to get pretty banged up. Hayden Fleury day-to-day with a bruised knee, so he came out today. That's the reason Colin Miller defensively makes his season debut. They're without Hayden Fleury for at least a couple of games. Dylan Samberg, he's out 6 to 8 weeks already due to a broken wrist in the preseason. Notable injury here, Cole Perfetti. He's week to week with an ankle injury, also suffered during the preseason. That one really hurts And Adam Lowry had hip surgery in May, the Winnipeg captain. That initial prognosis from May was 5 to 6 months of recovery, so the Jets will be without Adam Lowry still for a bit. They're going through the injury bug right now. Add Cole Koepke to that list. He will not return today, and so Cole Koepke out means that Winnipeg is one player short on its bench. Islanders got a little healthier a few days ago. Cal Ritchie coming back from a preseason injury, skated on his own and then skated with the main group the last couple of days. He's healthy enough now to be able to play, and so Matthew Darche assigned him to the Bridgeport Islanders of the American Hockey League. He has a chance to make his AHL debut this Friday. Bridgeport back in action with a home game. Rocky Thompson, new head coach of the Bridgeport Islanders, got that team a win, 6-2 over Ottawa's affiliate yesterday. Got a point in overtime loss in their season opener Saturday night. Long Island's own Marshall Warren, as we mentioned earlier in the broadcast today, named AHL Player of the Week. Great to see for a guy who initially was drafted in the 6th round by Minnesota in 2019, did not sign with the Wild, was a free agent, and signed out of Michigan with the New York Islanders, 2-year entry-level deal, and is in the back end of that deal this season, yet to make his NHL debut. Here at UBS Arena, Bo Horvat at center ice wins the faceoff back. Islanders starting the third period with nearly a full 2-minute power play. 1:56 to be exact. Matthew Schaefer was high stick by Mark Scheifele late in the second period. So the Islanders on the power play here. And it's shot across the top of the crease and into the right corner. Horvat looked to connect one with Drouin. Palmieri nearing their way to the crease. Jets clear it out courtesy of Neil Pionk. He goes to the bench for a change. Fresh killers on for the Jets. Islanders working on their 4th power play of the afternoon. 0 for 3 so far. Palmieri drops it in the neutral zone for Barzal. He's moving east to west. He'll play it right back to Palmieri, who darts straight north and down the right side. Right up against the wall. He's slowed by Luke Shen. And then at the point, Schaefer rims it around to the left corner. Jets on it. They clear. Just under 1 minute gone in this third period. Shots 24-21 favoring the Islanders, but they are trailing in this game 4-2. Barzal head up slowly and down the right side. Leaves it for Drouin. At the point, he'll waltz to the deep slot and then sends to the left wing for Barzal. He curls and waits. Takes contact from DeMello. DeMello falls down and a shot goes just up and over Comrie. Caught part of the post from Bo Horvat. And around to the right corner, Schaefer. The side of the trapezoid, calling for the return pass from Anders Lee. Schaefer right point back to Lee down low. Lee walks the goal line through the slot. Drouin across. Here's Barzal. Barzal curls away from Taves. Schaefer straight away. Schaefer has a look. Tried to find Drouin with the diagonal pass. That's broken up by Iafalo's stick. Iafalo on a second effort will poke it out of the zone. That kills off some time, and we're down to single digits. 9 seconds to go on the Islanders' power play. Barzal, center ice logo, sends it left wing and in onto the stick of Anders Lee. He'll bank it out to the point. Polak across. Pellick, one-timer knocked down by Comrie. It's loose in the skates of Lee. The puck comes over to the right wing corner. Out of the box is Scheifele, and the Islanders are 0 for 4 on the power play this afternoon. 2:10 gone in the third. Isles trailing by 2. This was the final score on Saturday against the Caps, 4-2. Logan Stanley can't handle the pass at the left point. He gets his wheels turning and gets back to a puck in his own zone, one stride ahead of J.G. Pajot. Dumped into the right wing corner, jumps off the wall. Here's Kyle Connor, saucers it to the blue line. And it's Shen. Crisp pass below the goal line, right back in the direction of Connor. Shabanoff uses the body to shield off Connor, but lost it out in front of him. Gabe Velarde stole it away, sent it behind the net. Cut off there by D'Angelo. Ahead for Ryan Polak. Islanders will finish up a change defensively. Polak comes off. Alex Romanov is on. 3 minutes gone in the third period. Jets send it in deep. Lead pass out of the Islanders zone from D'Angelo, grabbed by Holmstrom. Good to see Holmstrom back in action here after taking 2 block shots on Saturday, and the second one looked a lot worse than it ended up being. He went down and was in pain and had to go to the bench for several shifts, but came back in that game. And Simon Holmstrom here this afternoon looks as good as ever after taking 2 shots straight off the right leg in that game, but he doesn't miss any time. Again, the Jets without Cole Koepke the rest of the way. Lower body injury in the second period. He will not return. Pearson, stretch pass looking for Taves in behind the defense. Pass didn't connect with him, and then Matthew Schaefer bothers Taves in after it. And the Islanders will come away with it in their blue sweaters. They're moving left to right here in the third period. Elias Sorokin down on the left-hand side. Puck to the slot. Here's Mayfield. Step, shoots, save Comrie. Comes into the right wing corner. Gathered off the wall by Stanley. One step in front of Duclair. He'll sweep it out to center. Collision between Mayfield and Scheifele. Mayfield knocks Scheifele down, falls on top of him. Scheifele lost his stick, goes back to pick it up, still in one piece, as Matt Barzell dumps it in. Hard in after it is Palmieri. He's canceled out by Stanley. Turnover. Here's Duclair between the circles. Duclair steps, waits, takes it around behind the net. That's out to the line. Here's Pollock's shot, blocked. That one went right off the ankle of Chibrikov, who's down, laboring. He'll get back up and make his way to the bench. 15:20 to go in the third. And the Islanders move it up ice. Here's Horvat. Tries to turn Dylan DeMello inside out. Good active stick for DeMello. Cancels out Horvat. Puck still loose on the left wing side. Heineman, who's got a goal today, trying to find Drouin. Broken up by Morgan Barron. And the puck goes all the way down into the Islanders zone and behind the goal line, extended to my left. Islanders trying to avoid starting the season 0-3-0 for just the second time in franchise history. That's hard to believe. That was in the 2006-2007 season. Had a lot of overtime and shootout losses in there as well. They've also had a couple of ties in the early years, but only one other time have they started 0-3-0. Looking for a third period comeback here today. 14 and a half to go in the third, as it's knifed down and brought ahead by Luke Schenn. Played his 1,000th NHL game last year. First set of brothers to play their 1,000 games in the same season. That was back in October for Luke Schenn. His brother Braden Schenn back in February of last season with the St. Louis Blues. It was Anders Lee trying to power his way past Iafallo. Got past Iafallo and then gets canceled out by Colin Miller. He'll play it up the wall to Mayfield right point. Mayfield continues it around, rims it over to the left wing side. Stepping to it is Schaefer, and he gets blasted up high. Lost the puck, falls down. It come to Mayfield. His shot then is saved by Comrie. Collision in front between Lee and Miller. Schaefer is okay. And I believe his stick broke into about 3 different pieces, maybe even 4. He goes back to the bench and gets a new stick from equipment manager Jason Berger. Good to see that Schaefer is okay. He took an awkward hit a little up high as he was falling over, but no penalty, no injury against Schaefer. And we've got a timeout on the ice with 13:47 to play in the third period. Islanders needing at least a couple. They're down 4-2. You're listening to New York Islanders hockey on the Islanders Radio Network.
New York Islanders hockey is underwritten by the NHL on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
New York Islanders social media. Instagram at NY Islanders. TikTok at NY Islanders. X at NY Islanders. Facebook, New York Islanders. YouTube at NY_Islanders. LinkedIn, New York Islanders. New York Islanders social media for the world's greatest fans.
Acrisure underwrites a part of this New York Islanders live game broadcast on WRHU Radio Hofstra University.
I'm defenseman Adam Pellick, and you're tuned in to New York Islanders hockey.
Islanders down 4-2 with 13:47 to play in the third period this afternoon on Long Island. Alan Furing with you from the UBS Arena radio booth. Thanks so much for tuning in. Flying solo here this afternoon. Josh Bailey has the day off. He'll join us again later on this month and several more times throughout the year. I'm thinking maybe Josh Bailey was just the bad luck charm, but maybe that's me. That's definitely me. We'll see. This one's far from over. 13:45 to go. Islanders down 4-2. Face off in the Jet zone, won by Winnipeg and cleared out. And Ryan Pollock's on it for the Islanders between his own two circles out in front of Ilya Sorokin. They'll play to the red line. Four players come together near the puck. It's backhanded in by Cizikas. Hard in after it, Emil Heineman, but it's brushed around the boards by Morrissey. And here come the Jets through center. Scheifele cross-ice pass. Kyle Connor looked 5-hole. Sorokin slammed the door shut, made the save, and knocks the puck over to the left wing corner. AC Cizikas moves onto it, lifts it into the air. Simon Holmstrom gloves it down. And he'll touch it into the Jet zone down the right side. Pulling up behind the net is Gabe Velarde. And he'll leave it for Morrissey with under 13 to go in the third period. Jets high-octane offense. Tied for third in the league in goals per game a year ago. As we get a whistle here, puck covered up to the side of the Islanders' crease. So far this year, they've scored on average 3.5 goals a game, tied for 10th. Very small sample size, but this Jets offense can be very dangerous, certainly with names like Mark Scheifele and Kyle Connor. Kyle Connor may be the most underrated player, by the way, in the entire National Hockey League. We've had a couple of players say that already this season. Certainly the most underrated player on this Jets team, and that's saying something. 12:40 to go in this third period. 7 times he's hit the 30-goal mark in 9 NHL seasons. He's playing early portion of his 10th NHL season here after he put up 97 points 1 season ago. Talking about Kyle Connor. Islanders turn it over. Here's Vlad Nemesnikov near the slot. He's kept to the outside by Mayfield. Right circle, feeds to the line. Pionk across, Stanley to the middle. Getting a stick on that, Mayfield, trying to clear it out in front of Vladislav Nemesnikov. 4th season with Winnipeg now. The longest he's been in one place since his first 5 years, which were with the Tampa Bay Lightning for Vlad Nemesnikov. Signed a 1-year deal and then a 2-year extension with Winnipeg. There's Paul Mary down the right wing wall. Gets it back from Duclair. Sends it over to the left point. Schaefer back onto the ice. What else is new? Here's Paul Mary, right point shot. Friendly fire there. It hit Matt Barzal in the slot. He was trying to get out of the way or perhaps tip that puck, but it hit him and came to the right circle. D'Angelo from the red line dumps it back in. Barzal hard in after it. Steals it away from Stanley. Centered it. Jonathan Drouin was guarded well by a back-checking Alex Iafallo. By the way, Matthew Schaefer's played 20 minutes, 37 seconds so far today. That leads all players on both sides. Played 26:08, just his second NHL game on Saturday against the Capitals. Bo Horvat back behind his own net, trying to pull it free and away from Taves. He does. Puck comes up the left wing wall and out. Drouin sent it to the neutral zone. Taves cuts it off and shoots it right back in. 10:47 to go in the third. Islanders in. Left to right, Horvat leaves it. D'Angelo across. Heineman, a shot. Just missed. Looking for his second of the afternoon. Pearson in transition. Bolts through center. Steps on the gas. Pulls up. Shoots one over top of the roof. Sorokin off the glass. Rattles around to the left corner now. Stanley gets together with Heineman. They separate. Puck up into the air. Pearson gloves it down left point. Takes a shot. Never made it through. Initially, the rebound fell for Morgan Barron. His pass to the middle intended for Velarde's intercepted. Islanders get it back in deep. Anders Lee hard in after it. Sends Dylan DeMello to the seat of his pants. Shabanov comes in to help out. Pass to Pollock at the right point. Snap shot. That one sails off the back window. Brought down left corner. Fired in front by Pellick. Brushed up the far wall. Connor and out. Jets get it out far enough for a change. Trying to sneak one more player off the ice, and as they do, Shabanov comes in left wing, gets a shot off, save Comrie. And right at the top right corner of his crease, he'll pounce on the second effort. No Islander close enough to do anything with it with 9:46 to play in the third period. Still 4-2 Jets. You're listening to New York Islanders hockey on the Islanders Radio Network.
Daily Pay underwrites a part of this New York Islanders live game broadcast on WRHU Radio Hofstra University.
The New York Army National Guard pays you up to 100% of your college tuition while you serve your community part-time. Learn more at nationalguard.com. Sponsored by the New York Army National Guard, aired by the New York State Broadcasters Association and this station.
New York Lottery underwrites a part of this New York Islanders live game broadcast on Radio Hofstra University.
I'm defenseman Ryan Pollock, and you're tuned into New York Islanders hockey.
.9:46 to play in the third period. Islanders trailing the Winnipeg Jets 4-2 in the middle game of this three-game homestand. They'll wrap it up Thursday night. 7:30 start. Make sure you note that on your calendar. 7:30 against the Edmonton Oilers. Islanders are in Canada this Saturday. Their next road game will be in Ottawa. Another matinee in that one. A 3 o'clock start Saturday afternoon from Canadian Tire Center. Let's take a look while we have a second at our This Day in Islanders History. What happened on this day in Islanders history? I will tell you. You got to flash back 48 years, October the 13th of 1977. A young player at the time named Mike Bossy made his NHL debut on October the 13th, 1977. Wouldn't you know it, he scored his first NHL goal in that debut. It's pretty remarkable stuff. This Day in History we had on Saturday, in case you missed it. It was 50 years ago from Saturday night that a young Brian Trottier made his NHL debut and scored 2 goals and had 3 assists for a 5-point night. I would say it's hard to believe that, but knowing those guys and those players, that's not really that hard to believe at all. Matt Barzal takes the face-off, and his pass out to the line for Adam Pelech was too far out of his reach. Comes out of the zone, and everybody in blue has to touch up. And the clock is not the Islanders' friend here all of a sudden. There's still 9.5 to go, but the Islanders need 2. And here's Bo Horvat in his own zone with an A on his sweater. He'll send it east to west on for Pelech. Pelech shoots it straight north on for Barzal. Barzal trying to connect with Horvat, darting straight to the net. Caught his stick, went up into the air. Gabe Vilardi was the next one to touch it on the left wing of the Jet zone. 9:10 to go. This one broken up by Barzal. Deep slot. Barzal trying to fight off of a Vilardi check. Had Horvat. Couldn't get it to him. He does come free, but it's a little too late. Puck stays in the zone. Here's Schaefer. Above the left circle. Skates around Vilardi. Schaefer will take it behind the Jets' net. And then swings it up the boards for Horvat. Schaefer across. Drouin steps and shoots, and it's off the shoulder of Comrie. Good save there. Pelech turning shot blocked down. Kyle Connor and Mark Scheifele were there trying to take it the other way, but could not. Connor steps in front of Barzal. Barzal helped out by Drouin. Touched out to center by Connor. And here's Scheifele. Scheifele in down the right side. Took it wide, centered it, trying to connect with an oncoming Morrissey, but that one's intercepted. Cizikas at the red line dumps it in. And back on it for the Jets is Nino Niederreiter. 8:11 to go in the third period. Islanders down 4-2. 5-on-5 play. Islanders power play 0 for 4 this afternoon. Their penalty kill 2 for 3. Here's Mayfield, right point. Shot blocked away into the corner by Gus Nyquist. Holmstrom. It's a face full of glass on a check from behind by Niederreiter. Puck out to the neutral zone. Center ice logo. It's Nemesnikov. Flips it past Mayfield. Tony DeAngelo, the next one there. He'll touch it up the wall to Mayfield. All the Jets touch up. There's space for the Islanders. It's Pajot and down the right side. Then he's canceled out at the point by Barron. It's forced the other way. Alex Romanov onto a loose puck with 7.5 to go in the third period this afternoon. In comes Shabanoff. Upended by DeMello. DeAngelo steps, shoots off of Stanley. It nearly deflected off Stanley and in, but Comrie got enough of it. Tony DeAngelo with a good-looking rip, and it changed directions on Comrie. It's one of those, as a defenseman, you wonder what's better. You want to try to get in that lane and block it, or do you want your goalie to see it cleanly? That was near disaster for the Jets. The Islanders down 2, trying to get to within 1 here before it gets too late, but we're down to just 7:22 left. Patrick Waugh will change personnel here, and Matt Barzal steps onto the ice in between Palmieri and Duclair. D'Angelo and Romanov at the blue line. 7:22 to go in the third period on Long Island. Islanders down 4-2, face-off won by Taves. And then stolen away, Palmieri behind the net, trying to center it for Duclair. Barzal was near that chance as well. The Jets are right back on it. Here's Morrissey. Taps it up the right wing wall of his own zone. Morgan Barron takes it for a skate. Chips it past Palmieri. He's in hard after his own dump in. He'll dump and chase, and then he'll crush Romanov into the boards. Islanders have some space, though. Other way, Barzal pulls up, has D'Angelo, cuts to the backhand, lost it out in front of Alex Iafallo. 6:45 left, stretch pass Romanov. Barzal looking to find Palmieri, that's intercepted. Stanley can't clear. Palmieri deep in the Jet zone, right wing corner, leaves it for Barzal. His pass out towards D'Angelo, intercepted by Pearson. Pearson dumps it in. D'Angelo thought his stick was being held by Tanner Pearson. He wanted a penalty. None called. And now a stretch pass here out of the Islanders zone. This one's would have been for icing, but Max Shabanov wins the race to it. He was in behind Neil Pionk. Good play there. Shabanov out front with a shot that got blocked before it reached Comrie. And then Lee from the trapezoid. Tough angle. Shot off the post from Shabanov. Shabanov nearly made it a one-goal game. Islanders with the pedal down here. They're in the offensive zone still. Shabanov eludes Pearson, then had it stripped away. Out to the point right side, Mayfield. Across to the left wing, Schaefer and Mayfield have a catch, and then Pajot steps there. Pajot straight ahead, leaves it for Schaefer. Shabanov, Schaefer shoots, blocked by Pionk in the slot. Schaefer again, out high this time, leaves it for Pajot. Back to Schaefer. Nemesnikov takes the shooting lane away, throws it in front. Pajot was there. Pajot got in tight, but couldn't finish on Comrie. 29 saves now today for Eric Comrie. And he's got his team up still 4-2 with 5:20 left. Tell you what, Eric Comrie, as Tony D'Angelo told us during the intermission, has just been absolutely terrific. Here's a shot from the point, saves Sorokin, rebound loose, and the second chance goes wide left from Scheifele. Scheifele's been rather quiet today. Came into this game with 5 points in his first 2. So far this afternoon, the Islanders have kept him off the board. Here's Adam Pelican down the left side. A wrist shot caught and held by Comrie well outside of the crease. Final media timeout with 4:52 to go. Islanders need a pair. It's a 4-2 Jets lead late. We'll go the rest of the way in regulation next on the Islanders Radio Network.
GEHA Federal Health Plan supports this New York Islanders live game broadcast on Radio Hofstra University.
New York Islanders social media. Instagram at NY Islanders. TikTok at NY Islanders. X at NY Islanders. Facebook, New York Islanders. YouTube at NY_Islanders. LinkedIn, New York Islanders. New York Islanders social media for the world's greatest fans.
New York Islander game broadcasts are supported in part by MSG Plus and MSG.com.
When the Islanders are on the ice, we're on the air. The New York Islanders Radio Network.
Hey, I'm forward Kyle Palmieri, and you're tuned into New York Islanders hockey.
Under 5 to go in the third period. 4:52 to be exact. Jets with a 4-2 lead on the Islanders. Islanders trying to get that first win of the year, but it has been tougher than they wanted it to be. And it's getting late here on Long Island this afternoon. Islanders and Edmonton Oilers coming at you on Thursday night. That's our next broadcast. Stay tuned after tonight's final horn for highlights, a full recap, and reaction from head coach Patrick Waugh and Islanders players. That's immediately following the game here today. It's the post-game show. That is up next. All right, so 5-on-5 still. Way too early to pull Sorokin even in a 2-goal game, so he remains in the crease way down to my left. Face-off in the offensive end for the Isles. Casey Cizikas in game 900 will take the draw. He's got Heineman to his left, Holmstrom to his right. So a different look here for Patrick Waz. He continues to search for answers as far as offense. He's got Heineman playing with Cizikas and Holmstrom here defensively, Polak and Pelech. Jets clear it out after the face-off. And so Pelech from deep in his own zone will try to fire a rink-wide pass. And that one missed Holmstrom for icing. We've seen the Jets here today connect a couple of those. Mark Scheifele and Josh Morrissey have been the two that come to mind. Josh Morrissey is really good with those long stretch passes straight north for the Jets. I can think of another Jets team that would like to complete passes the way that Josh Morrissey does. Sorry if that offended anyone. 4.5 to go in the third period. It's a 4-2 Winnipeg Jets lead. And here is Morrissey. He's going to pulls down on Cizikas in front of the penalty boxes. Comes all the way across to DeMello. And with 4:20 to go in the third period, we get a whistle. Face-off coming up in the neutral zone. 4 goals on 25 shots today for Winnipeg. 2 goals on 32 for the Islanders. Islanders have started each period today pretty well, and then it's just kind of fizzled out. The Jets have just gotten better as each period has gone along. Islanders have the most recent goal. That was Emil Heineman. That was back in the second period. Same with J.G. Pajot scoring on a deflection following a Tony DeAngelo lengthy shot at the blue line. A goal for Pajot in game number 800 here today. Here goes Sorokin to the bench with 4:06 left. Extra attacker is Anders Lee. He's on at 6-on-5. Okay, so 4:06 to go. Patrick Waz pulled his goalie. DeAngelo right point to the circle. Barzell right side snapped one. It would have been wide anyway, but Comrie reaches out his glove and catches it for the whistle. 3:52 left. So the Jets have an empty net to shoot at. Sorokin stays on the bench. Anders Lee was the extra attacker that came on. He will stay on. It's Lee, Barzell, Drouin, Pajot, Horvat, Schaefer. Those are the 6 on for the Islanders. A right circle face-off here. That's glove side of Comrie. Islanders win it. Schaefer right point across. Slap shot Barzell. That's blocked by Pionk. He's laboring. That caught him square in the left leg. He's hobbling, getting to the bench. Pionk will take a seat. On comes Luke Shen as the puck slides just wide of the Islanders' empty net. Matthew Schaefer is on it. The 18-year-old first overall pick who had a point in his first 2 games as an NHLer. So far today, he had been quiet. Puck's lifted into the glove of Comrie. He'll hold it. Looking at the score sheet here, they have thrown an assist, a secondary assist onto the score sheet on that Heineman goal, and it is credited to Matthew Schaefer. Heineman from Drouin initially, and now they've added Schaefer, so it's a point-per-game pace still for Matthew Schaefer, who had an assist in the opener. He had his first NHL goal Saturday night here, and now a secondary assist today. 3 points in 3 games so far for Schaefer. We've already gotten into the weeds with some of his stats, but the accolades and the numbers just keep coming for Matthew Schaefer. He is now the only Islander to have points in each of his first 3 games. That's as far as defensemen are concerned. So the first Islanders defenseman with points in each of his first 3 NHL games. Schaefer to Horvat. Spinorama in the slot. Backhands one well high and off the glass. Back out high, and it's Schaefer to Drouin. Schaefer steps. Cuts back on Nemesnikov. He'll leave it for Drouin. Schaefer right wing again. Left side now. Shot by Barzell. Snapped wide. The Jets are doing a good job to clog up the front of the net. Sometimes it doesn't work out screening your own goalie, but they've got 2-3 players most of the time taking those shooting lanes away. The Islanders are going to have to get creative. In a 4-2 deficit, 2:40 to go. 6-on-5 still. The Islanders' net is empty down to my left. Islanders have the puck in their zone. They've got to be careful here as It is Kyle Connor breathing down the neck of Jonathan Drouin. He steals it away at the right point. Centering pass, and it's a slam dunk empty net goal for Mark Scheifele. 6 points in 3 games to start the year for Mark Scheifele. That's his first of the afternoon. It's an empty net goal, and that may be the nail in the coffin. There's still 2:25 to go, but it's 5 goals for Winnipeg. And a 5-2 Jets lead. Now Drouin had to be careful with it. Max Shabanov and others were still in the Islanders' zone, but Kyle Connor pursuing the puck, stole it away at the right point. Really didn't get a clean look at the net, but he had enough room to slide a centering feed through the low slot. And there was Mark Scheifele to receive it. Slam dunk empty net goal. Mark Scheifele, 32-year-old's got 3 goals and now 6 points in 3 games on the season, coming off a career year in which he had 87 points last season, played in all 82 games for the 3rd time. Mark Scheifele's got 5th goal for Winnipeg today. Great young player. He's had a heck of a career so far. Really not young anymore, which is hard to believe. He's in his 14th NHL season. Mark Scheifele. Courageous on and off the ice. Of course, his father, Brad Scheifele, passed away the night before Game 6 in Dallas in the playoffs last May. Mark Scheifele said he wanted to play. Said his dad would have wanted him to play, and he went out and scored the first goal of that game in Game 6 against the Stars. Here's Shabanov, right circle, snaps one in on Comrie, save, rebound to the slot, taken by Nemesnikov, lead pass stretched on for Nikita Chibrikov. He's in, drags back to the hash mark, shoots one wide right. We're down to 1:10 left in the 3rd period today. The Islanders will likely fall to 0-3 on the season, 0-3-0. The start for just the 2nd time in franchise history. The Jets will improve to 2-1. They'll pick up points 3 and 4 on the season through their 3 games. They're in Philadelphia on Thursday. Islanders hosting Edmonton Thursday night. At the left point, shot by Schaefer, blocked away. Schaefer still on the ice here. He has played quite a bit yet again today. Mayfield, long drive right point. This time it sticks to Comrie like a magnet, no rebound. A little conversation out front between the 2 teams, but nothing crazy. He led all players in time on ice on Saturday. He's about to go the 2nd straight game with leading all players. Matthew Schaefer, 25-38 so far. He's taken 26 shifts. He's had 4 shots on goal. That's tied for the team lead. 30 seconds left, face-off. Flipped out to center by the Jets. It is Iafallo, puts it on top of the center ice logo, and now Scott Mayfield comes away with it. Lead pass off of Simon Holmstrom. Settled by Logan Stanley, ahead to Iafallo. The Jets have it in their own zone. They're content to let the clock run out. Fans are headed for the exits. The Islanders will fall to 0-3-0 on the season as DeMello holds the puck behind his own net. 5-2 the final score. Winnipeg takes it. The Jets are 2-1-0 to start the year. Islanders fall to 0-3-0. New York will look for their first win of the season in game number 4 Thursday night here at home against the Edmonton Oilers. So another game in which the Islanders allow at least 4 goals. Their offense gets to 2, but no more for the 2nd straight game. And the Islanders will continue to search for answers here in their 2025-26 campaign. Hey, stay tuned for highlights, a full recap, and reaction from head coach Patrick Waugh and Islanders players. That is coming up shortly. The Islanders postgame show is on deck. We'll wrap it up after this. Islanders fall to the Jets here on a Monday afternoon, a Columbus Day matinee. 5-2 the final. This is New York Islanders hockey on the Islanders Radio Network.
UBS Arena supports this New York Islanders live game broadcast on Radio Hofstra University.
New York Islanders social media. Instagram at NY Islanders. TikTok at NY Islanders. X at NY Islanders. Facebook, New York Islanders. YouTube at NY_Islanders. LinkedIn New York Islanders. New York Islanders social media for the world's greatest fans.
Coyote Promotions supports this New York Islanders live game broadcast on WRHU.
This is your home for New York Islanders live game broadcasts. WRHU FM Hempstead, Radio Hofstra University.
Daily Pay underwrites a part of this New York Islanders live game broadcast on WRHU.